What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Friday, April 18th, 2025, and we are standing here at the Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals today, together with runway 36 right. Whatever wind there is blowing mostly from the north to northeast. And that means that the same runway configuration as yesterday in the afternoon is still in progress. In other words, departures to the north and arrivals from the south. Maria, Tiger, Jackie, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the show, all others. Han, Duns, Redison Guy, Gary, Richard, Jetstream, Dukman, Audrey, Jack, Ryan, Lars, and all the others. Kjell, good morning. Good morning, one and all. Stefan and Stefan. Hassan, John Dutch Canadian. My name is John, they call me John. That's convenient, that's convenient. Duly noted. Call John John. Now, coming from the country John is living in, Canada, this is Air Canada Flight 900, arriving from Montreal. It's a 7878 Dreamliner, 6 hours and 6 minutes underway. 10 years old, first flight December 2014. I'm standing a little bit more forward than otherwise would have been the case. When I arrived, some German spotters had already arrived here. So to make sure I'm not in their way, I'm standing a little bit more forward. Only a few meters. Basically now standing right round the corner instead of over there, where you can still see that the earth is a bit trampled. That's where I usually would stand. And this is the S-curve in the water. It's not a substantial difference. The Dash 8 from the Coast Guard over there, Dash 8 100. Just took off from Schiphol Oost, out to patrol. "37 years old or something. Still Canadian registered, which I don't think we're able to reach from this distance, unfortunately. Redison's wife also, good morning to you. Charlene, goedemorgen. Benny, good morning. Hey Jörg, good evening, probably, late afternoon. Still in Thailand. What's the time difference? How many hours? 6 or so? Maybe more? We have Chinese triples. Well, a Chinese triple and a United Arab triple. Not sure if that's the proper term. Probably isn't. It doesn't sound properly pronounced. There's a sharp delineation in the clouds over there, looking towards the center of Amsterdam. Quite interesting to see. Maybe if I show it a bit wider, it comes across better. It is still very dark over here in the Netherlands, although it is expected to stay dry. Yeah, and basically what I said yesterday about the forecast, they repeated for today. Sunshine later in the day. Yesterday it never came. Whether or not we're going to see any sunshine today here in the west of the country remains to be seen. There is an airplane underway from over there somewhere. It is Delta Airlines Flight 74. Now, hitting the coastline, approximately in the vicinity of Noordwijk. Probably still invisible from this vantage point. I'm expecting, if we are able to see it, that we should see it somewhere over there later. But I'm not getting my hopes up too high. We're standing a bit closer to the Loxam rental stuff, which means they rise higher above the horizon as we're closer by to them. And that means more blockage from viewing afar. and it's almost 3 p.m. in Thailand. So that is a 5-hour time difference only. Huh. I would have thought it was more. There you go. Gary Greben's mate are also there, although they are diving under. As they do. Good morning, Daniel. John, good evening. This is Kaagbaan, runway 06, we're standing next to. Mrs. Professor also back, good to see ya. Waxy Chisek, good morning, guten Morgen. I have the Delta, but as I thought, those Loxom sheds are in the way, so we would have been able to see it approach had we continued filming in that direction. More is coming. Emirates A380 is underway, but as Ryan already mentioned, the ETA is past 1 o'clock, so it's going to land on 36 right almost certainly. You can see how the feathers are water repellent. Droplets floating on them instead of soaking into them. Now, I'm standing a bit more forward, so need to get my frame of reference in, but I think I have found the glide slope right there. And as the airplane is approaching, I'm framing it a bit to the left so that we can also have a look on flight radar, see what is coming in. There is a Saudi A74, there's a Saudi A747, but that's still flying a bit further to the south. The first quad squad engine to arrive is going to be the 7478 Cathay Pacific Cargo. Its ETA is 10:38, and that means it's going to land on this runway. This Saudi A747 has to make up a couple of minutes, because otherwise it's going to land on 36 right, presumably, unless they are diverting it or they're directing it via the west coast. In that case, it might still come this way, but not getting my hopes up too high, and nor should you. Yeah, and Emirates has an ETA of 1:14, so that is well into runway terrain for arrivals by then. Means we aren't going to see it as it stands. Unless it makes up substantial more time. Hadi Sander, goedemorgen kerel. And good morning to all others who have joined. Hatimsit, good morning. Made in Australia, good evening mate. NJ, good morning. Delta Airlines Flight 74 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Next to arrive here, A330-300, 8 hours precisely on the way according to flight radar. Registration November 828, November Whiskey. The airplane is 8 years old. The first flight was in May 2016. Right. On my screen, I think things look a bit dim. Could go for a quarter stop of additional exposure compensation. Now it kind of sort of looks okay. It's just it just looks depressing with all the cloudiness. That's it, I think. That's mostly it. Hey there, Richie. Good morning. And look who has returned to the Aurora Sky Lounge. It is Marcel. Marcel, returning to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Mate, thank you for your renewed vote of confidence. We kept your seat warm. Hope you still will like it in the lounge. We left everything the way it was, so hopefully you'll find your way soon enough. Welcome back, Marcel. And thank you for the support, mate. think I have the color balance set a bit higher than normally. This is what I usually employ when the sun is shining. Can go, this is too warm. This is what I had it set to. We could also opt for a quarter stop of additional exposure, which is what I did just now. Quarter stop of positive exposure compensation makes things a bit brighter. Not sure if it's a substantial difference, if one looks better to you guys than the other. KLM flight 1570 arriving from Porto in Portugal, 737-900. Wolfgang also back in the chat, Servus mate. Good morning Daniel. Hope I pronounced that properly. Paul, goedemorgen. Ada, good morning. Stan, goedemorgen. En Rens. Pancake is live. This is the Kaagbaan indeed. You tell me guys. I've amped up the exposure compensation with a quarter stop. Going back to neutral would be this. Maybe this looks a bit better. Maybe it's just me who needs to readjust cloudy conditions after a couple of weeks of mostly sunny or brighter conditions. Jeroen, goedemorgen. Floris, goedemorgen. David, goedemorgen. Hassan, goedemorgen. Amro, goedemorgen. Good morning. So, another 737 is next to arrive. KLM flight 1402 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Hadi Ger, goedemorgen. Ali, goedemorgen, good morning. Ali used to intern at the Microsoft Netherlands office there, in the Netherlands here. How long ago was that? Yeah. Here we have a glide slope shot, 2 airplane glide slope shot, Air Baltic arriving from Tallinn in the foreground. And in the background we have Delta Airlines flight 56, which is arriving from Salt Lake City. Abhishek also back in the chat, good to see you. Good morning, bear with me. Who says, don't overthink it. Oh, don't overthink it, it's just the weather. Shitty Dutch weather. Boop boop. Touchdown. What up, David? Or David? Dancers back with breakfast. Bon appetit. Good morning, Mark. 12 years ago, Ali says. Used to have a view in the Kaagbaan from the top floor. Mate, that is awesome. Was that on Schiphol Plaza itself somewhere over there, or more to the right, or more over there? So I'm standing a bit higher than my camera right now is filming, and I can already see that there's another airplane which is now coming into view. I see the glide slope a bit before the camera does. Camera mounted maybe a tad too low. Then again, you will see it soon enough though. 2 consecutive wide bodies, 2 A330s. On the right we have Delta Airlines Flight 56 arriving from Salt Lake City. That's an A330neo. And an A330-200 from KLM arriving from Edmonton, Canada behind it. Hey there Lance, good morning. Eric, good morning. Pieter, goedemorgen. Good morning, Bobbers. Ah, the first building's right in the middle. Awesome. That's a prime location to be working at, Ali. Hey there, Blackburst. Good morning. Jeffrey, goedemorgen. Good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing here at Kaagbaan, primary runway 06. Departures take place from the center runway over there, and also from the Polderbaan, which is somewhere over there. Gary Greben is made, we already saw. Donald and Daisy seem to be swimming over there, and Chris Coot over there. Let's quickly turn back. We have a KLM A330-200 arriving from Edmonton, Canada coming in next. Here it is. And Croatia Airlines arriving from Zagreb should be somewhere behind it. Well, I can see it already. It should... Oh yeah, there it is. It becomes visible now. Right there. So this is KLM Flight 676 arriving from Edmonton, Canada. 8 hours and 31 minutes on the way. It's the FWOC. I say, what the FWOC is going on here? It is a 19-year-old airplane that had its first flight back in October 2005. Yeah, that's buttery. Although the nose gear touched down a little bit bouncily. And application of the reversers, you can clearly hear it. Raven Rock, good day. Welcome back. Marike, goedemorgen. Rosie Groovy, good morning. Richard, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we are standing here at Kaagbaan, where we are going to see Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. Croatia Flight 450 is an A319. It's the 9 Alpha CTL Charlie Tango Lima. 24 years old, first flight June 2000. EasyJet A319 appearing just above the artificial horizon that Luxom created. And it is arriving from London Gatwick. Not this airplane, this is arriving from Zagreb. Umer, goedemorgen. And indeed, Lance, almost at 30k subscribers. You can see the live number of subscribers in your bottom left above the time. So if you unsubscribe, you can see it go down 1. If you subscribe, you can see it go up 1. Not sure if we're going to make it this weekend, but sooner or later we'll get there. Our next airplane is another A319. It is from EasyJet and arriving from London Gatwick. Since this is still a bit further away, it gives me time to go back to the computer. First of all, massively thank Frans Greitler. Dankeschön for your super sticker, per character exaggeratedly stretching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. Frans, vielen dank, and I will happily accept your virtual cup of coffee, mate. Thank you so much for the support. That is really kind of you. And also a massive big thank you to Peter van der Steen, who super stickered a Shiba dog saying good job while raising his thumb up. Peter, dankjewel. Thank you so much for your support as well. Love the super sticker. Even though I'm not able to show it on the app I am using, or the program I'm using to stream with, which also is where I have the ticker and the screen in. I do see it on my phone if I scroll laterally. The next airplane to arrive after this EasyJet should be KLM flight 749 arriving from Cartagena. Good morning, Wing View Sim. Karsten, goedemorgen. Milan, goedemorgen. Onno, goedemorgen. Adriaan, goedemorgen. Now, looking at the livery and the brightness of the colors, it almost looks like the sun is peeking through the clouds here. I assure you that's not the case yet, although macroscopically looking around, first of all to see where the sun is at, that's over there, rather thin where the sun is shining, the clouds. It does provide somewhat of a semi-shadow. It does look like further to the southwest there's more blue. Oh no, this is the west. Then let's get our bearings in. This is looking to the north. So this has to be looking to the west. Looking to the south. And this would be looking to the east. Again, looking land inward. Similar to yesterday. More dark skies. There's still an area of... Well, I'm not sure if it's still raining over there, but there's an area of denser clouds lying over the east of the Netherlands and also over the west of Germany. Leo, goedemorgen. Sheila, good morning. Good to see you again. George, goedemorgen. Seal the deal, good morning. Nino Panta, good morning. Carlton, good morning. Next airplane to arrive, KLM flight 749, arriving from Cartagena. You know what country lies in the vicinity of Cartagena? Goddamn right. It's a 787-10 coming in. And before it gets really close, let me head over to the computer and thank Raven Rock for your super chat. Very kind of you, Raven Rock. You didn't have to do that, but you went ahead and did it anyway. Buy yourself a coffee, boy. I will certainly do that. Coffee is something I'm still allowed to drink as long as it's black. On a diet since this week. Coffee makes my day, and I will certainly make good use of that donation to buy coffee. I often buy coffee from roasteries that roast the coffee beans fresh. Have an espresso machine and a grinder. Best result you get when you have freshly ground beans. Well, relatively freshly ground, because coffee aficionados will know if you want to make espresso from freshly roasted beans, first they need to degas, let some CO2 escape from the beans, otherwise you'll get very frothy espresso. Ravenrock, thank you so much, mate. We have KLM flight 749 coming in from Cartagena. It's a 787-10 Dreamliner, the PHBKG, Bravo Kilo Golf, 5 years old, first flight January 2020, 9 hours and 5 minutes on the way. Another 787-10 will be arriving after that, KLM arriving from New York. And another 787, but a 9 after that. So 3 back-to-back Dreamliners from KLM. Two 10s and one 9. Yep. Gone is the curvature in the wings. Adikaas, goedemorgen. Good morning, Freeze Build. Who says, raining as hell above Hamburg. How's the weather going to be in Aham today? Well, if all's well, the sun might peek through the clouds, and here in the west of the Netherlands we might even get to see some sunshine over here. It does look like the clouds are thinning more and more over here. I think you can even see a patch of blue over there, so it's definitely going to be a bit better than it is in Hamburg at the moment. I think the day's highs were expected to be around 15 degrees Celsius, roughly 60 F. Weather should improve over the next couple of days with more sunshine and also a bit warmer temperatures. Coffee or stroopwafel for breakfast. Ooh, what's even better is if you put some whipped cream on the stroopwafel. And if you have cocoa powder, top it off with some cocoa powder over the whipped cream. Now you see why I need to go on a diet twice a year. John Norris wonders if they still have smoking coffee shops in Amsterdam. They certainly do. Although I'm not sure if you're still allowed to smoke in those coffee shops any longer. It used to be the case, but anti-smoking regulations have become more strict here in the Netherlands over the last couple of decades. And I haven't visited a smoking coffee shop in ages, so I wouldn't know for sure. Maybe there are more sort of like dispensaries where you can just pick up the goods and then you have to leave and consume somewhere outdoors. No idea. And Mario says, I think you missed 2 super stickers. Which ones would that be then? This is KLM flight 668, arriving from Austin, Texas, 7879 Dreamliner. 8 hours and 57 minutes on the way. The PHBHH, Bravo Hotel Hotel. 8 years old, first flight August 2016. Lovely, gentle landing. Adi Henk, goedemorgen. Roger, good morning. Ricard, Yves, good morning. Hey there, Milan, good morning. What's this? This is P1 Authority. Respect Schiphol Authority. Okay, the Chinese triple's cargo hatch seems to have closed, so wouldn't be surprised if it were to be pushed back pretty soon. At the moment, nothing going on at Emirates Sky Cargo. Maybe they are done unloading it and they're about to commence with loading it. Good morning, Aquarock. Goedemorgen, Wouter. And Wouter asks if I am going to film the departures tomorrow because he will be flying to Barcelona with Transavia. I don't know yet, Wouter. Weet ik nog niet. That'll depend on the wind and the runway use. Try to vary a little bit. Today I'm standing at Kaagbaan for arrivals, so maybe if the wind stays more or less the same, could go to Polderbaan tomorrow for departures. But then I still wouldn't know if I would be able to film the departure to Barcelona up close. It might also leave from center if the wind is going to stay the same and they're going to use the center runway and the Polderbaan. So I am going to film tomorrow. I don't know yet what I'm going to film, nor whether or not, if I were to film the departures, if I'm going to be able to film your departure, Wouter. Sup, Hansar, Daan, goedemorgen, Erik, hiya. John asks a difficult question. What is your favorite food? That is really a difficult question, mate. I have so many favorite foods. To call one my very favorite, I think is a difficult assignment. Hey there, Viking Power. Sparta Rotterdam, goedemorgen. What would I consider to be my favorite foods? Well, we have a very, very good Thai takeaway restaurant in a next door village that is really, really good. It has terrific curries. A vegetarian massaman curry with potatoes, with peanuts, with tofu as replacement for an animal source of protein. That is one of my favorites. Then again, I also like good fries. Simple fry with mayonnaise. Good fries. That's also a favorite. Pizza. Because of course. So hardly any food that I don't like. It's hard to call one my favorite, but yeah, I've got many. We are now going to see the first CRJ of the day. Hope Michael will pop in to witness the landing. The airplane that we saw next previously was a 777-300 coming in from Johannesburg South. Lest we forget. Now, before the CRJ is getting really close by and I have to start working as camera operator, let me welcome Eric, who just became our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Mate, thank you for your vote of confidence and for choosing the Aurora Sky Lounge as your place to hang out in. If you need to know where stuff is, ask around. More than 1,000 members have gone before you and will happily show you around, Eric. Now you also have access to 31 custom emojis. Don't forget to use them. And that goes not just for Eric, but for all members, new and old, gifted or non-gifted. You have 31 custom emojis at your disposal. Make goddamn use of them, guys. Again, I challenge you to use the custom emojis the most inappropriate way you can think of. Get creative, use them. I think you guys aren't using the emojis nearly often enough. Lufthansa flight 2302 CRJ 900 coming in from Munich. München. Tip-top landing. And look who has arrived on the scene. It is Marissa, who is blue. I saw it yesterday already. I'm not sure if it happened after the stream of yesterday or not, but you already told us earlier it was going to happen today. Marissa, goedemorgen, and thank you so much for all the support and congratulations. Another of the few, still few I would have to say, blue members, 2-year members with a blue badge. Marissa, dank je wel for everything you have been doing as a moderator and as a member to support the channel. I hope you still like being a member. I hope you still like being a moderator. I am really happy with you, and I hope you are also happy to be around AMS Live as a mod and as a frequent visitor and as a member still. Marissa, dankjewel. Thank you so much. En gefeliciteerd. Congratulations. Another blue member. I think I saw that Han is going to be the next member to turn blue. Hey there, German Monster. Guten Morgen. Tuning in from Berlin. Zuluk, good morning. Hey. Hope you are recovering well. ACL surgery. They don't do that with everybody. If you're too old, they'll leave it, at least here in the Netherlands. Hope you recover speedily, Zulurk. All the best. Adi Patrick, goedemorgen. Peter K, good morning, mate. Welcome back. Dutch Aviator, good morning. That's Marissa. I hate it here. That's why I'm still here after 2 years. To torment us. Now, this is KM Malta, and it is flight 394 returning to Amsterdam from where is this airplane coming from? Oh, Malta. Who would have thought? Hey there, Seal the Deal. Hey there, Danny. Good morning, lads. Well, all the best, Lurk. Hope you'll recover without any symptoms and speedily. And also Karsten, who is celebrating 3 months of membership. Thank you so much for your support, mate. Only 21 more months to go. That's the spirit. Keep thinking positively. Well, no, mate. In 3 months, you'll be turning green. No, yellow. And then you'll be turning green in another 6. First, you have to satisfy Greenpeace by becoming green. Thank you so much, Karsten. 3 months in the pocket. Here's to many more months to come. Here we have Aegean, flight 3624, arriving from Athens. A321neo. Hey, helicopter. Please, helicopter. On the left. Anyway, you get the idea. Let's quickly go back to what is coming in. By the way, now for the first time in 48 hours I am actually seeing patches of blue here between the clouds, so it does kind of sort of look like maybe today the forecast for the sunshine actually is going to come true. Was that another blue member of the channel as well? Could be. They definitely were blue. Stof 31, goedemorgen, greetings. Dial, good evening mate, welcome back. And indeed David T, Airwolf, Fatbike Dutch, Airwolf it was. Good morning one and all. This is United Airlines, flight 968, arriving from San Francisco. 10 hours and 32 minutes on the way. It is a 777-200 November 788 Uniform Alpha. 27 years old, first flight July 1997. Is it doing a circle around the tower? For a moment I thought that the police helicopter was doing a lap around the tower, but guess it isn't. Just hovering in the vicinity of the airport. Afgeek Dylan, good morning. Howdy Daniel, goedemorgen. Daniel writes in Dutch, I wanted to say that I became a dad from Lucas, his son, last week. Congratulations, Daniel. Jurk says, now to the A-team. Ta 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 ta. Yeah. Hey there, Alan. Good evening. Another viewer from down under from Brisbane. Peter says that in Egmond the sun is now shining. That bodes well. Over here we do see more openness in the sky. This is looking to the north. Looking to the west, we are going to see airplanes. Let's do that first. Ooh, 3 airplane glide slope shot. There you go. This is all arriving from Tel Aviv. And it is a 7879 Dreamliner, flight 337. Four hours and 3 minutes on the way. For X-ray Echo Delta Delta is the registration. The airplane, 7 years old, first flight February 2018. Two airplanes on the glide slope. Coming in next will be Lufty, flight 988, arriving from Frankfurt. That's on the right. And on the left we have KLM flight 598, arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. The chopper is still hovering. Hovering right over the, I think the east part of the main platform area. Next up will be Lufty, flight 988, arriving from Frankfurt. This is an A320, 48 minutes on the way. Dayuk, Delta Alpha India, uniform Charlie, 11 years old. Hadi Mats, goedemorgen. Anton, goedemorgen. Ah, nice weather between in Heilo and Limmen. So in the north and Alkmaar. In the north it is already better weather. Cathay Pacific 747 is flying downwind, and I wonder if I'm able to see it already. I think we have our answer. First Queen, which will be landing here on the Kaagbaan pretty soon. And here we have KLM flight 598. That is a 777 300 arriving from Cape Town, South. Meanwhile, that helicopter is hovering almost above me now. Contra espionage. They're spying on us, we're spying on them. Next airplane to arrive, EasyJet, flight 27842, A319, arriving from Birmingham. The airplane behind it is UR Airlines, arriving from Erbil, operated by BH Air. Coming in from Iraq. First up, EasyJet, A319, arriving from Birmingham. So yeah, there's a police helicopter hovering over Schiphol, spying on us as we are spying on them occasionally. The first 747 of the show will land here on the runway that we are standing next to, 06, Kaagbaan, in a matter of minutes. Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478, arriving from Dubai World Center. Meanwhile, on audio, on the ambient audio, you are picking up the sounds of this police helicopter that is flying in circles. How's your life going? Well, going in circles. Big picture overview. We have cloudiness mostly, but patches of blue here and there in between the clouds. Another wide body coming in. No, I think the next wide body is going to be the... For a moment I thought there was a wide body coming in the distance, but they're all narrow bodies until the 747. Right, coming in next from Iraq is UR Airlines, arriving from Erbil, A320. Next up, two narrow bodies, and after that we are going to see the 747. Tarom is now coming in next. Tarom arriving from Bucharest, flight 361, A320. Behind it, an Embraer 190 coming in from Prague. keeping the shot a little wide. I'm not expecting that we can see the 747. You can also look above the buildings in the foreground a little bit, since I am a bit taller than the camera is now positioned. Not seeing anything just yet. Should become visible pretty soon. This is Dan Air flying on behalf of Tarom, arriving from Bucharest, flight 361, 2 hours and 23 minutes on the way. 16-year-old airplane, first flight March 2009. Dan Air. What up, Danny? In the meantime, the sun is about to shine on the triples over there. Emirates is still open. The Chinese triple is already closed. That's the one I'm expecting to get pushed back the first. Hey. Maybe another inbound airplane or outbound. Whatever it is, we're not following it because lo and behold, our first queen is coming in. Going to skip the Embraer 190 that is flying in front of it and keep focused on the 747, the first of the show. And before it gets really close by, let me massively thank Peter K. Planes, who is celebrating 18 months of membership, member for about 547 days. Peter, thank you so much for the support. Hope you still like it in the lounge. 1.5 years, that's only 6 months shy of turning blue. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. I hope you still like it in the lounge. Massively thank you, Peter K. Planes, for the support. 1.5 years. And also good morning and a big thank you to Alan Lee for your super chat. He says, good morning from the northeast of England. Thanks for the stream. Mate, you're welcome. Happy to oblige. Thank you so much for your super chat, for your kind words, and good morning to you too. And also, Peter K. just now gifted the membership. I see that Hans was the recipient. Welcome back, Hans. Don't forget to use those custom emojis whenever you get back in the chat. I'm not sure if you're there yet. Peter K, thank you so much, mate. You really didn't have to do that. Welcome to the Sky Lounge, Hans. And thank you, Peter. Now let me go quickly back to the to the camera and focus on the first queen of the show. It is Cathay Pacific Cargo. It is a 7478. It is arriving from Dubai World Center. 7 hours and 42 minutes on the way already. Registration Bravo Lima Juliet Hotel. 12 years old, first flight June 2012. Will it get loud on landing? Will it reverse? Bam! Whoa, bouncy. Holy shizzle. They totally didn't flare. Damn. What the fudge? That poor landing gear. Now, another queen is vacating the cargo apron to make room for the queen with the poor landing gear. Damn. John even felt that landing from Australia. There you go. Seismologists will report earthquake having taken place here in the Netherlands. Epicenter around Schiphol Airport. Long distance headshot, Queenie. KLM is leaving. Hey there, planespotters Arnhem. Goedemorgen. Hey Stefan, goedemorgen, good morning. Next to arrive here is JetBlue Flight 31 arriving from Boston, Massachusetts. That's an A321neo. This is flaring. That's the way you should do it. Two queens, one shot. Airplane porn. 18 plus only. Stefan, mate, thank you so much for your almost 1 year of support. I'm sure you'll reach that 1 year mark pretty soon. Almost a year, no better streamer / community, he writes in Dutch. Thank you so much for the kind words, mate. I do the best I can, and everybody here is also a big part of the experience. Happy to hear you're still enjoying being a member, Stefan. Thank you for the kind words, for the ongoing support. I'm pretty sure that in a month from now we'll be celebrating that you have turned green. Dankjewel, Stefan. Thank you so much. And Jay, yeah.
Retard.
That's what the airplane was telling. The pilots didn't listen. Hadi Gratje, goedemorgen. Good to see you, mate. Good morning, Gear Down Aviation. QJ also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Two queens, 8 engines, 1 shot. If you're liking what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps to bring in new viewers who might not have heard of the channel yet, but who would also want to join our awesome community if only they knew of its existence. A like goes a long way to promote the channel's content to new viewers. Leroy, goedemorgen. Marek, good morning. Transavia 737 arriving from Ljubljana in the meantime. And here too a concept called flaring being applied. Indeed, Marissa, two queens standing back to back, the good old days. Was mentioning yesterday that the other day I was looking on YouTube and saw a spotting clip from somebody who was filming airplanes from the panorama rooftop terrace, but back in the 90s, back when the terrace was still L-shaped and when KLM was still flying 747s for passengers. They were so ubiquitous over at the platform. MD-11s as well. Absolutely terrific to see. So many of them. Martin Air also still flying a 747. Can you imagine? And no, Stefan, I haven't. Not yet. BA Flight 430 arriving from London Heathrow. QJ says that the Saudi Queen is already in the Netherlands. Question is, of course, what runway has it been assigned to? My guess is it is probably going to the wrong runway. Hadi Bram, goedemorgen, good morning. Third to land on the Kachbaan is going to be ITA Airways Flight 108. That is an A321neo that we're going to see pretty soon. Hear the whistle of an E2 Embraer 195. KLM Flight 1268 having returned from Copenhagen. Queenie is about to traverse the runway. The CKA. Where's it going to go to and what runway will it be leaving from? As expected, QJ confirming that the Saudi 747 is going to the wrong runway. Thanks for looking that up and for confirming that. Guten Morgen, Fern Sebastian. Going to Miami, so Queenie is going to take off from the Polderbaan then. A321neo, KLM, arriving from London Heathrow, flight 1002. Jay also back in the chat, who absolutely loves the channel, but in actuality should be sleeping now. Don't lose too much sleep over AMS Live, that's not good. We're good at helping you procrastinate at work and in school, but sleep is also very important, guys. Anyway, I'm digressing. This is ITA Airways Flight 108. It is arriving from Rome. A321neo, 1 hour 57 minutes on the way. EIHXD, Hotel X-Ray Delta is the registration. The airplane is a year old. First flight was in January 2024. Dan's confirming that the CKA is going to the Polderbaan, 36 left. First, the CKA has to go through the maze over here on this side of the platform. Now it can finally traverse the A4 highway and be on its way towards the Polderbaan. Juan Carlos, good morning, welcome back. Good to see you, mate. Welcome to the show, all others who have joined as well. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We're standing at Kachbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals. And welcome JP van Ruitenbeek. JP van Ruitenbeek became our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. You have more than 30 custom emojis at your disposal. If you want to do so, you can use them however you see fit. JP van Ruitenbeek, welcome and thank you for your support. If you guys are enjoying the stream, and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to bring in new people. People like yourselves who are into live streams like these. And a whistle that reminds you of the E2 Embraers when they pass you by. That's because they both have the same family of geared turbofan engines. This of course was a Bombardier C-Series 300 from Air France. A220s as they're called these days. Runway 36 right is open for business, and the first airplane to go there is ITA Airways Flight 120, arriving from Milan. There it is. It is an A320neo. With the sun not shining abundantly, it does allow us a bit more detail, at least a bit more color that we can see. With the sun fully out, it would have been a shadowy airplane without a lot of detail. More distortion, that means that there are buildings in the foreground that are distorting our view of the ITA A320neo. Here another time. And we're going to see it one more time, I think, if all is well. Just a brief glimpse. Yeah, that's going to be the last part. Here we lose it, yeah. This is KLM flight 1918 arriving from Zurich in Switzerland. 737-700. Hey, Maria says Saudi to Karbaan. What? That is good news. Is that so? That is impressive. Hey Jean-Yves, salut mon ami, good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well still with you. KLM flight 636 is extending its gear. It's a 787-10 arriving from Las Vegas. So surprisingly, there is a second 747 underway that now seems to have been reassigned to Karbaan. And I'm looking to my left to see if I can spot the damn bugger. Because on paper I think I should be able to see it. If I know where I need to look, and I think I have it. Think it's over there. Yes. Second Queen coming this way. Saudia 747-400 making its way to the Karbaan unexpectedly. Lucky us. Now, if we're also going to catch such a lucky break with the A380, this would be a good Friday indeed. Hadi Ricardo, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Good morning, Black Screen Lyrics. Hey, die Boyd. It's Armaan, goedemorgen. Paul, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. So yeah, lucky us. Second Queen also coming this way, even though on paper, normally speaking, it would have been assigned to the wrong runway. Guess we're lucky. Sander says that Notifly still says Aalsmeerbaan, but not complaining. Yeah, well, it's over Alpha aan de Rijn, so if it's going to turn in for Aalsmeerbaan still, they definitely let it run past the glide slope very extensively. Maybe finally ATC realized that there were a lot of viewers watching through AMS Live, and some of the ATC folk said, let's give him the 747. This was KLM Flight 636, having arrived from Las Vegas, 78710 Dreamliner. Adi Martinair, goedemorgen. 78710, 9 hours 25 minutes on the way, PHBKH it was. What a lucky break. Didn't think that was going to happen, so I'm very thrilled that it happened. The two airplanes that you're now seeing are Air Arabia Morocco A320 in the foreground, arriving from Nador. That's in Morocco, and that's in the north of Africa. After that, we are going to see KLM Flight 1042 arriving from Birmingham. That is a 737-900, and after that, we are going to see Iberia Express. In fact, you can see Iberia Express already. That's the leftmost of the three airplanes you're now seeing. Flight 1791 arriving from Madrid. Yeah. Queenie number 2, flying base. Well, downwind, turning base. Obviously, I will make a separate video of that rough landing of Cathay Pacific Cargo. Expect that later in the afternoon, local time. No issues there? Big picture wise, what does it look like? Looking to the north, things look like so. More openings in the sky, also now visible in the west. Looking land inward to the east, things look grimmest. Looking to the south, so. Although, you can see the sun is now very close to an opening in the sky, so I'm expecting a bit of unadulterated sunshine over here. Wouldn't it be nice if that coincided with the arrival of the Saudia 747 so that it can shine in all its glory? Airplane that I missed filming because there were queens parading on the platform was the Embraer 190 in the SkyTeam livery from KLM. This is the other airplane in KLM's fleet that is still in the SkyTeam livery. 737-900, this one arriving from Birmingham. KLM Flight 1042. If you joined us only later, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals today. And you already might have missed a very rough landing from Saudia. No, not Saudia, Cathay Pacific Cargo. 7478 slammed into the runway. Really nasty to see. I will make a separate video out of it. Second queen of the show. A lucky break for us because initially it was looking like it was going to land on the wrong runway, namely 36 right, the Aalsmeerbaan. It is Saudia Cargo Flight 933. Now number 7 on flight radar, tracked by 480 people. Arriving from Jeddah with Jeddah Nights. 5 hours and 37 minutes underway. It is a 747-400 freighter. 9 Hotel Alpha Kilo Juliet is the registration. The airplane is 28 years old. First flight was in November 1996. And she'll be landing here on this runway, which we didn't expect initially. Paul also back in the chat. Good to see ya. Mabuba, good morning. Good to see ya. If you're enjoying the stream and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. Helps to bring in new people. If you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. This is Saudia Flight 933, 28-year-old 747, hailing from 1996, Will it also land as tough and rough as the Cathay Pacific did? Hopefully not, but you never know. Good morning, Ladder Pilot. Good morning, de Maatjes. Good morning, Mitchell. Hey there, Tina. Goedemorgen. Second bouncer coming in, Charlene says. Well, let's see. The sun is working in our favor. Beautifully illuminating delivery. Okay, that's how you should do it. Hope the Cathay pilots took notice. Much better indeed. Now, almost every other landing would have been better than the one from the other Queen. It's probably going to make a right-hand turn and will be joining the other 747. In the meantime, a massive big thank you to Kjell Jorvik, who just now went ahead and gifted 5 memberships. Welcome to the Aurora Skylounge new members. If you are one of the recipients of Kjell's gifted memberships, don't forget to say thank you. You now have custom emojis at your disposal, 31 for a month. Don't forget to use them. Spamming is not allowed, but you're allowed to use custom emojis to your heart's desire. So feel free to spam us to death with custom emojis if you are so inclined. In fact, I challenge all of you to start using those custom emojis in the most inappropriate way you can think of. See what you guys can come up with. Use those emojis. They're there for a reason. When we're reaching 1400 members, another one will be added. Slowly but surely we're getting there. Thank you all so much for that. Also a massive big thank you to Dirk Antour, who is celebrating 11 months of membership. Air Canada, Air Canada, Air Canada. Yes, Dirk, thank you so much for your ongoing support. Another month and you'll be turning green. Greenpeace is going to love it. Thank you so much for all the support. Hope you still like it in the lounge. Let me know if something is no longer to your liking. I hope you're going to stick around for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular, frequent visitor. Juan Carlos is asking about ducks. And the answer is no. Well, yes. I stand corrected. We have seen ducks. They were further upstream earlier in the stream. But now they seem to have gone. No longer am seeing them. Queenie over there, and what's the other airplane? Oh, that's a twin jet. Let's also quickly turn back. Canadian bank robber here to take our money. Air Canada flight 808, arriving from Toronto, 7878 Dreamliner. Flight time 6 hours and 44 minutes. This particular airplane is 10 years old. First flight was in October 2014. And now you see flex in the wings, spoilers go up, boom. And immediately you see the curve disappear. The wings flatten. They're still standing up a little bit, but not in a curvy way like they did when the airplane was still airborne and before the spoilers got deployed. So we have converging arrivals now with runway 06 and runway 36 right both being open. That is a status quo that's going to continue for roughly 40 minutes. It started at 11, it's going to end around 11:40. That's usually the time where we're going back to one runway for inbound traffic. That is going to be the Kaarbaan, runway 06, which today is the primary runway for arrivals. If you joined us only later, you probably have missed 2 747 landings. The first of which was really hard. Cathay Pacific cargo 747-8 really slammed into the runway. I am going to make a separate video out of that landing, which will probably be posted a couple of hours after I am done with today's stream. Now, we're still awaiting the Emirates A380. That's the quad squad member still coming in the next couple of hours. There weren't a lot of 747s airborne, other than the 2 that have already landed. Let's have a quick look on Flight Radar and see what we can expect after Saudia has parked. So yeah, Saudia is now entering its parking lot. It has landed. Orange Pride outbound to Cape Town. This is, hey, interesting. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Emirates is making up time. Its ETA earlier in the stream an hour ago was still 1:15. Now it has become 1:03. Couple of more minutes and we might get to see it land on this runway, because before 1 o'clock only one runway is going to be open. That's this runway, what we're standing next to. Jesus will not visit, not at least now. It's flying to Dalaman from Liverpool. So the Netherlands is still a godforsaken place. What else is new? This is Transavia, flight 5672, arriving from Party Island, Ibiza. Goedemorgen, they call me M. Herzlich willkommen. Goedemorgen, Sandis, who says this is the best stream to go along with morning coffee. Hadi Jan Willem, goedemorgen, and welcome to the show, all others who have joined. Our next airplane is going to be Play. Converging arrivals are in progress. The next airplane to land on the other runway is an A320neo from SAS. More interesting for us and for our members is this. It is Play, of course. Playtime has begun. This is flight 460 arriving from Reykjavik, Iceland. It's an A321neo. 2 hours and 40 minutes on the way. It's the TFPLC. Papa Lima Charlie. The airplane a year old. First flight May 2023. And indeed, make the chat red. Look some red. Play red. Look some red. Not very dissimilar. Play arriving. Indeed does. Hey, Grace Kelly, good morning. And that's a nice way of putting it, Yorkshire. The chat is bleeding. Just like Jesus when he was hanged on the cross. I'm pretty sure that it'll take the chat less than 3 days to resurrect. In fact, the chat isn't dying, luckily. The chat can suffer quite a bit of bleeding before it is actually going to die. Let's see, another Transavia 737-300, 737-800 arriving from Barcelona. This is the trash. No, wait, no. Not so much the trash. It's the treat. TRA3T. Treat. Hey, what is up, Alan? And also back in the chat, crap weather to go out, so it's AMS live all the way. Hey! Our hombres are coming. What? Have they been sent this way just to greet us from a different location? No, it's more than 3. It's 4 vehicles coming this way. What the actual F? Now, if you guys joined us only later, you might have missed a slam dunk of a landing. Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 really slammed into the runway. I'm going to make a separate video of it. And we also have a surprise. We also had a surprise visitor in the form of Saudi Cargo, which we, well, at least I for one, definitely had going to the Alsmeerbaan. So what in the world is happening here? There you go. They ran out of honks. They ran out of honks. They did have budget for waves, but not for honks. It's probably the lads from the station that is situated a bit further that way. There's also a fire station over there in the vicinity of those fuel tanks. Probably over there is where these guys are coming from. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We have some flies over here. We have bits of blue in the sky. Looking to the north, things look like so. Looking to the east, still more cloudiness, as was the case yesterday. The sun right now is shining through an open gap here in the clouds. This is looking to the south. And this would be looking to the west. Looking to the southwest, we have the glide slope to runway 06. And over here we have KLM flight 1198 arriving from Oslo, number 190. Converging arrivals are still in progress. It is 11:15 and until approximately 11:40 local time, runway 36 right will also be open for arrivals. Next airplane to arrive to the wrong runway is KLM flight 1230 and Embraer 175 arriving from Gothenburg. For those of you interested in what we can see from those airplanes from over here, this is what you can see. Not a lot. But yeah, it's happening. The next airplane to arrive to the Kaagbaan, runway 06, where we are standing next to, is visible over there. And that is KLM flight 936, arriving from Glasgow in Scotland. That's the 737-800. (737-800), 1 hour and 5 minutes on the way. 24 years old already. Papa Hotel Bravo X-Ray Lima is the registration. First flight was in September 2000. Now, things are opening up a little bit. It's still a few more moments before the airplane will be really close by. Let's have a quick look at the weather. The meter in the ticker, the weather report in the ticker was indicating 10 degrees C. Wind blowing in the direction of the runway, heading more or less with 5 knots and few clouds at 1800 feet. A refresh of the page, the same page, tells us that the wind has changed and now the airplanes are landing with ever so slight crosswind. The wind speed is negligible, 3 knots. It is still not CAV because we have few clouds at 1700 feet, otherwise it would have been CAV. Air pressure is 1015 hectopascals. And we're waiting for the next airplane of interest, the Quad Squad member from Emirates, A380. Still uncertain where it is going to land. It is either going to land after 1 o'clock and very likely going to land on runway 36 right, or it makes up a few more minutes and will land before 1 o'clock, and then we stand a chance of it going to Kaagbaan. There's only one way to find out, and that is to stick around and see what is going to happen. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Because we are definitely going to stick around until the A380 has landed. Regardless of the runway it is going to land on. Now I didn't have time to paste the METAR I just now copied into the ticker, and I am going to do that right now. If my computer works along with me, there we go. Pasted it. Now I have to change the font and the color. That's good. And back we are. Hadi Rens, goedemorgen. Rensterwee, goedemorgen. Tom Tordes, good morning. Doing well, thank you for asking. It's Blaze, good morning. Welcome everybody. And Grace is going to start dinner. Thanks for joining and stopping by. You have a nice Easter too, Grace. Hope to see you again soon. Troyes Triple is still standing there with the hatches closed. The Emirates is still being worked on. Does look like my camera is a little bit off balance, a little bit more forward, and if all is well it shouldn't be creeping up or down. Going up ever so slightly. Still a bit back heavy then. It's funny that even though the configuration doesn't change because of the change in wind situation, sometimes you need to move your camera a bit more forward or backward in the rail that connects it to the tripod. Should be good now. Still converging arrivals in progress. Only one Transavia now on the glide slope to 36 right. That's coming in from Privetza, a 737-800. In the meantime, we have an E2 Embraer 195, KLM flight 1030 coming here, arriving from Persenchester. E2 Embraer 195, so listen for the whistle when it passes by. You also hear that when the A220s are passing by, the Bombardier C series. You can recognize it with your eyes closed. Our next airplane is going to be KLM flight 1070, arriving from Southampton. That's an Embraer 175. In the meantime, a big thank you to Alan, who just now went ahead and gifted the membership. I see that Real Greens was gifted the membership. Welcome back, Real Greens. Don't forget to say thank you to Alan if you get a chance. Don't forget to use those custom emojis. They're there for a reason. Alan, mate, thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome, Real Greens. Welcome back, I should say. I think Real Greens was a member before already. Hugo says, the stream is great, but the jokes about Jesus hurt me and maybe others also. Well, in that case, this might not be the right channel for you. If Jesus exists and doesn't like me joking about him, he will punish me regardless, so I'll get what's coming to me regardless. And over here we are not joking about Jesus, we just have an airplane that is called Jesus that sometimes comes to the Netherlands and sometimes doesn't. Right, we have two airplanes on the glide slope to the polderbaan, to the Kaagbaan. I keep saying polderbaan because it is a force of habit and we're there so often. KLM flight 1076 arriving from Bristol, Embraer 190 on the right in the center. On the left we have a 737-800 from KLM arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. KLM flight 1406. I can also hear an airplane passing overhead, but still not visible. There are bits of blue. I'm not seeing any contrail remnants. I think the airplane that I was hearing is passing right over the cloud that is in the way of us being able to see it. Emrove asks, any 777 with GE90s coming by today? Nah, never. Just an endless stream of Embraer 190s like this. Oh, and an occasional 737. 777s, particularly ones with GE90s, we hardly ever see here. And Vicky121 asks, can you go to Aalsmeerbaan? Yeah, you can go. Absolutely. There is a place where you can watch the airplanes land. It's on the industrial part of Schiphol Oost. There's a tank station and traffic lights. And over there you can go a little bit towards the runway, and over there you can spot the airplanes. You can also stand on the dike of the Ringvaart, more in line with the threshold. So it's definitely something you can go to. Hey, the cat. Goedemorgen. Good morning. Rauw. You have a great day too, Emrove. Adriaan is warning that there is another 747 coming to pass overhead. Where's it coming from? Over here it is still mostly cloudy, so bear in mind I will probably not be able to see anything, but I need to know where I need to look, because it is still, for the most part, cloudy. I do hear something. Looking up, not seeing anything, unfortunately. Can definitely hear the airplane. I'm looking up as we speak, but I'm not seeing anything. Might also be that they aren't producing substantial contrails. Right, well, if it's straight above me, then the airplane is hardly producing a contrail or no contrail at all, because I did hear it, but I wasn't able to see anything. East to west, yeah. Didn't see a thing. I did hear it. I'm pretty sure I heard it. Right, it's all Embraers to both runways right now. We have an Embraer 190 from KLM arriving from Luxembourg to 36 right. This is KLM, well, Britty Hopper on behalf of KLM by the looks of it, or German Airways arriving from Norwich, an Embraer 190. KLM flight 1498 is arriving from Barcelona. That's an Embraer 175. That's right behind it. over there. A319 EasyJet arriving from London Luton, now third to arrive to the Kaagbaan. Whoa, was this Britty Hopper or not? It is all white. Flight radar says Britty Hopper, Eastern Airways. Adi Richard. Who is now in Las Vegas? Los Angeles. Ah, you flew to Las Vegas yesterday. Weren't able to see you. I think you already put your phone on flight mode before I got the chance to ask if you were seated on the left hand side and if you were going to shine the torch. We didn't see anything. Leon asks about the new German Airways livery with the KLM mention. Marissa happens to say that German Airways in the new livery is third for arrival. I haven't seen it yet, but I think if Marissa is talking about the same, then we are going to see the airplane pretty soon. And again, oh yeah, now I am able to see the airplane, but no contrail. See what I'm saying? It's not producing a contrail. Motherfudger is not producing a contrail. This is KLM flight 1498 arriving from Barcelona. It's number 175. 1 hour and 48 minutes underway. Lufty A330, Leroy says. Nusa Goals also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Ah, Miami. It was Miami, of course. Now, were you seated at a window seat, Richard? Because I asked, well, we never got a response. Were you able to see that you were filmed, or were you sitting in the middle or to the right? EasyJet flight 22515 arriving from London Luton is coming in next. Look away if you are Luton intolerant. This airplane is going to give you the cramps otherwise. Arriving from Celiac City, 40 minutes on the way. 18 years old, first flight February 2007. Hadi Mat, goedemorgen. German Airways flying on behalf of KLM in the new livery will be next after that. I already had a quick peek on flight radar just now. Looks nice. Orders of magnitude better than the old standard livery. Hey, that's interesting. KLM Embraer 190 arriving from Aalborg is continuing to the west. To me, that indicates that the Aalsmeer-bound runway 36 right has already closed for business and everything is once again coming to the polderbaan. I keep saying polderbaan, Kaagbaan. And Richard was having flight mode on. That's not necessary. Just a little secret. The airplane is not going to crash if everybody on board doesn't apply flight mode. That's an urban myth. But yeah, if you were also seated in the middle, it would have been impossible to shine the light. Right. German Airways coming in from Aberdeen. New standard livery, first time we're seeing it here on the channel. Flying on behalf of KLM, flight 912, it's an Embraer 190. 1 hour and 9 minutes on the way. Embraer 190 long range. Delta Alpha Juliet Hotel Whiskey. Dachwe. Or something is the registration. It is 19 years old, hailing from 2006, month not specified. Let's have a look. Channel premiere. Hey there, Noah Jens. Goedemiddag. Or good morning, I should say, more appropriately. Is there a single dot that is aberrant? No. Although some of those dots were bicolored. What do the OCD people have to say about this? Bear with me, says Welling Vibes. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Lots of yellow dots. Han will be pleased. Indeed, Maria. Yeah, the tail is an improvement. I fully agree. Yeah. Well, if they are going to make that the standard livery, I'm pleased. Very nice. E2 Embraer 195, KLM flight 954, arrival from Newcastle. And another E2 Embraer 195 behind it. For those of you joining us later, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Kaagbaan, runway 06. Once again, the only runway in use for arrivals. Hardly any wind. Things are opening up a little bit. The sun has begun to shine over here. It's getting warmer. 2 747s already landed. The first, an absolute bonkers slam dunk. Bouncy landing. Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478. I will make a separate video out of that later today. Expect that a few hours after I'm done streaming. And the surprise was Saudia, which we thought was going to go to the wrong runway, but in the end went to the right runway. Jendorsek, goedemorgen, good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Oh dear, no, back issues, lower back issues. Try to use painkillers and move as normally as you would otherwise do. That's the remedy for lower back pain, regardless of the cause of it. Mrs. Professor has to go. Thank you for joining, Mrs. Professor. Sleep well. See you next time. KLM flight 1136 arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Indeed, bear with me. The couch is not going to help with lower back pain. Moving as normal as possible. And painkillers will. Let's have a quick look and see what the ETA is of the next Quad Squad member. Emirates, it's still making up more time. Its ETA is now 1 minute past 1. It was 1:15 earlier, and the last time we checked before just now, it was 1:03, so it is continuing to make up time. A few more minutes and the likelihood of it landing on 06 increase significantly. Still wouldn't want to go ahead and call it already. I'm still thinking it is going to land on the wrong runway, but the likelihood of it not happening increased by the minute. KLM member 190 arriving from Aalborg. The two triples still standing there. Chinese triple has the hatches closed for a while now, but it doesn't seem to be going anytime soon, I should say. Let's quickly turn back. We have a 777-300 arriving from Panama City coming in next. Oh, what do you know? We have a 777 with GE90s coming in. Quite the rarity. Arriving from Panama City, KLM flight 758. Flight time 9 hours and 25 minutes. Tell you what, the sun is now shining for a while, has been shining for a while now, and it's starting to get warmish. Awesome GE90s, the best. The 300s, the 200 long range, and the freighters have the ones that work so nicely. Hey there, Bob. Good morning. Is it still morning? Yeah, it is still morning. Greetings from Ireland. Greetings back. And bom dia, Rinaldo, who is tuning in from Brazil. Good morning, Katie. And let's see. I thought I saw but he can't. No. Good. No longer do I see it. Never mind. Let's see, the next airplane to come in is KLM Flight 1174, arrived from Stavanger. It is an Embraer 190. And on its left, another airplane visible, an Embraer 175, arriving from Hanover. Wingview Sim asks, do you think that I can visit the Polderbaan while the NATO top is there? Almost certainly you will not. I already spoke with Officer Rulof and he said it is going to be a fortress. A lot of the places that you could normally visit at Schiphol will be closed off for spotters. So I wouldn't count on it. Although I don't know for sure yet what is going to happen. I'm also not counting on being able to stream in that week. Depends on the measures, of course, but derpa coming in from Stavanger, flying on behalf of KLM, flight 1174. Mercer says that SLM is flying a high-fly A340-300 out of Amsterdam today. I also happened to see when I was looking on Flight Radar earlier in the morning that they were bringing in, it had SLM, had an SLM call sign, but there was a privilege style 777 that was arriving. I think it was coming in from Madrid or something. So I wonder if maybe they're also going to change the A340-600 for privilege stall in the upcoming days. This is KLM flight 1788 arriving from Hanover, Embraer 175. Arriving from Hanover, going to NA. Yeah, I wonder what airplane, what airport it could be. Papa Hotel, Echo, X-Ray, Whiskey. Seven-year-old airplane, first flight January 2018. Now, let's see what else is coming. EasyJet arriving from Krakow. And something big arriving from Vancouver. EasyJet A320neo on the right. Or I should say an A320neo. 1 hour and 31 minutes on the way. The OE LSN. 2-year-old airplane, first flight October 2022. JB, guten Morgen. And thank you so much for your wishes, John, Dutch Canadian. Hope you have a nice Easter weekend as well. So this is Good Friday. If I recall correctly, it's the day of Jesus' crucifixion, right? And then on Monday was Resurrection Day, right? If I recall correctly. Ooh, butterfly. All white. Nice. Don't see them very often over here. So yeah, the Chinese triple is still standing there. Emirates, they're still loading it up. Next up will be KLM Asia, arriving from Vancouver, which is in the north of Asia. It's a 777-200 flying as KLM flight 682. Flight time from Vancouver now 8 hours and 55 minutes. It's the PHBQH Bravo Quebec Hotel. This specimen is 20 years old already. The first flight of this airplane was in September 2004. Howdy, Sophie. Adrian's wall incoming. Is that so? GSAK lesson. I think that is an abbreviation for geschiedenis, aardrijkskunde, geography and history. It used to be separate courses when I was still in school, but apparently they combine those things these days. If I had to guess, I would say GSAK means geschiedenis, aardrijkskunde, or history and geography in Dutch. In other words, school subjects. Bear With Me asks if we've seen Daisy and the ducklings today yet. The answer is no. I think they are holding up on the other side of the water. That's a bit further that way. I'm standing a bit more forward today, as there were already some German spotters around the location I usually am standing. Going back would only mean that this tree would be in the way of viewing the glide slope. Would probably be very annoying. So instead I opted to go a bit more forward towards the runway lights, the approach lights. Yeah, history, geography. Apparently a combined course these days in schools. And John says, no, Easter Sunday is his resurrection. Ah. Friday, Saturday. Oh yeah, on the third day. Yeah. So why do we also celebrate Easter Monday then in Europe? Transavia is coming in from Malaga. 737-800. 2 hours and 19 minutes on the way. Flight 6110. Papa Hotel X-Ray Golf is the registration. 8 years old. First flight March 2017. If you join us later, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and this is arrivals at Kaagbaan runway 06. Two 747s have landed, the first of which really slammed hard into the runway. I will make a separate video out of that. You can expect that a couple of hours after I'm done streaming. Qatar Cargo 777 seems to have been pushed back. Now let's have a quick look on flight radar. See what the ETA is of the Emirates. It is still 101. Let's do a refresh quickly. It's flying in the vicinity of Wolfgang in Austria. Right now, oh no, not very in the vicinity yet. Flying in the vicinity of Vienna. ETA is still 1 past 1, so gotta keep following this. It had an ETA of 15 minutes past 1 earlier, then it became 3 minutes past 1, now it has become 1 minute past 1. If it is continuing to make up more time, likelihood of us seeing it land on runway 06 will increase significantly, I might add. Time for another Britty hopper, Embraer 190, flying on behalf of KLM. Arrival from Teesside or Darlington. It is now time for a couple of wide bodies. First airplane to arrive with a wider frame is KLM Flight 601. 7879 Dreamliner. And Delta is the next after that. Here we have KLM Flight 601, that's a 7879 Dreamliner. And I wonder if maybe we are able to see Delta already. Think it probably is behind these sheds already. If that's the case, it should become apparent from behind the building a bit more over there. Yeah, I have it visually. I'm standing a bit higher than the camera is. There it is. KLM Flight 604 arriving from LAX. That is a 7879 Dreamliner. Having flown 9 hours and 53 minutes to get here. 9-year-old airplane. Qatar Triple is on the move. Hadi Martijn, goedemorgen. Let's quickly turn back. Delta Airlines Flight 136 is coming in next, arriving from Detroit, Michigan. Slowly but surely it is making its way over here. A330-300, flight time 7 hours and 16 minutes. November 806, November Whiskey. The airplane is 21 years old, first flight February 2004. If you guys have been enjoying the stream thus far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really helps to promote the channel's content to viewers who haven't heard of the channel yet, but who might also want to join us if only they knew of our existence. A like goes a long way. Make sure to subscribe if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams. Or, for instance, if I'm going to post separate videos, like from that hard landing of the 747 that we saw earlier in today's stream. Hadi Lindsay, goedemorgen. Delta Airlines Flight 1336, hi. Ja goed, met jou ook? Goed. Stefan has returned, right?
Yes. Ik zag je vanochtend al live gaan, dus ik dacht, ik ga je nog even kijken.
Ja, goed. Leuk man.
Ja, gisteren was ik er ook al.
Ja.
Nee, het was niet best. Een beetje laat.
Nou, met een beetje geluk gaan we nog de A380 zien.
Ja.
Hij komt nu om 1 minuut voor 1. Nee, 1 minuut over 1.
Ik was vanochtend al bij de polderbaan.
Ah.
Toen was die Orange Sprite, die ging precies naar de andere, naar het center.
Ja. Altijd hè, altijd.
Ja, altijd. Toen kapte Marco er dan ook mee.
Stefan F1 Edits has arrived on the scene. Already been to the polderbaan this morning. Busy day. Qatar Triple is now traversing the runway.
Je gaat 2 uur naar noorden. Noorden.
Sorry?
Je gaat 2 uur weer weg.
Oh, om 2 uur.
Ja. Rond 2 uur tenminste.
Oké.
Jij gaat naar de Airbus 380 weer weg?
Ik weet het nog niet. Ligt een beetje aan het verkeer. Komen er nog grote kisten binnen? Blijf ik nog even wat langer?
Komen niet meer zoveel bijzonders binnen.
Nee, meestal niet. Meestal niet.
Meestal zijn het alleen maar van die Embraers.
Sorry?
Meestal zijn het alleen maar van die Embraers of die 7.
Ja, dat is vaak wel het geval inderdaad.
Daar vind ik ook niks aan.
We're discussing the monotony of the air traffic after the A380 has landed, and that it's often for the majority Embraers, just like they are coming in right now.
Er is er eentje achter je.
Ja, ik zie het op Flight Radar. But the Saudi cargo is also getting pushed back. Also very interesting to see. We saw, no, this is not the same that we saw land. There was another one already. In the meantime, number 175 landing here on the on the Kaagbaan. I keep saying polderbaan.
Sorry. Misschien een beetje doen.
Hey, Evan also back in the chat. Top of the morning, sir. Welcome back, Senor Rodriguez. Hope all is well, mate.
Kijken of ik die Orange Sprite heb. Die moet nog een beetje editen in de auto.
Right, let's see. We have a Chinese A330 that is also approaching. I think I have it already. Flying in the vicinity of the what's it called again?
Alsmeer?
The lake.
Rechts toch?
Not Loosdrechtse plassen, Vinkenveense plassen. Flying a bit to the south, that's a Chinese A330 Air China Cargo A330-200 that is going to land over here.
Dit is de KLM die ik had gezien als je hem wil zien.
And here we have the 747 has been pushed back. Should be on the move pretty soon. It has to traverse the runway at some point. When that's going to happen, we don't know yet. It only has just now been pushed back, so we'll have to wait a little bit. This is KLM flight 1004 and E2 Embraer 195 arriving from London Heathrow. Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Next after that, KLM flight 984. And after that, should be Air Oink Oink with an A321 Neo. Air Oink Oink already visible over there. And after that, we are going to see an Embraer 190, KLM flight 1774 arriving from Berlin. So yeah.
Ik wacht ook nog op die 76 van Ice Air.
Hoe laat komt die?
Om 1 uur.
1 uur, around 1 o'clock. Iceland Air coming in with a 767. Well, it's arriving from the west, so it's going to land on this runway regardless of the runway use. Unless they change the runway use, of course. As long as this...
Volgens mij is nu rechts, 36 rechts dicht.
Dat zou kunnen, ja. Ja, nee, die is dicht. Die is tot... Nee, tussen 11:40 en 1 uur, between 11:40 and 1 o'clock, only one runway for inbound traffic. And that is this runway. It needs to make up a few more minutes of time. De A380. Hoe laat komt hij nu? What's its ETA?
De 67 die komt om kwart voor 1.
Yeah, the 767 is arriving a 1:45. Sorry?
De 380 komt om 1:03.
1:03, so it has lost a few more minutes. 3 minutes past 1, now the ETA.
En daarna komt er nog een Airbus 330 aan en daarna nog een Neo en dan houdt het wel een beetje op.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Fingers crossed. We were also lucky with the Saudia 747. It was arriving when 36 right was already open, but it did still get vectored to 06 in the end.
Na die Ice Air krijgen we een paar goeie. Krijgen we twee 777's achter elkaar.
Nice.
Van Qatar en van KLM.
Qatar and KLM 777s after the Iceland Air, and that was expected a 1:45, right?
Eerst die Iceland Air, dan 2 Embraers, dan weer die 2 777's.
Perfect. Well, and in the meantime, Air Oink Oink is arriving. Flight 1251, arriving from Istanbul. Nu wel, ja. Ja, het zonnetje begint weer... Precies. We're discussing the weather, as we always do. Stefan was just saying in Dutch that the weather is also nice for today. Finally the sun is shining a little bit and it's providing a bit of warmth.
Ik vond dat het in de ochtend nog wel frisjes was.
It was still a bit chilly in the morning, absolutely. Next airplane to arrive on the runway is KLM flight 1774 arriving from Berlin. Embraer 190. In the meantime, we have a 747 from Saudi that is preparing to go away. Still has to traverse the runway, but it's not on the move yet, so it's probably going to be a few more minutes. In the meantime, 2 Embraer 190s, and after that, the A330-200 will land.
Want die Qatar is nu een half uur eerder gekomen.
Oké.
Komt nu om 27.
Qatar has made up some time. Right, 2 Embraer 190s. This is the first of the 2.
Volgens mij is Saudi nu aan het taxiën nu.
Dat zou kunnen.
Kijk op flight dat hij nu zegt dat hij 9 knopen gaat.
If it is going 9 knots, it is moving. It does seem to be coming a little bit closer by, slowly but surely. Ryan has to go. Fijn weekend, fijn Pasen. See you later, Ryan. In the meantime, we are looking at a 747 from Saudi. Not the same as landed here before, but another one that was already here. It's moving, you can definitely see it. There's still an Embraer 190 approaching and an A330 behind it. Ah. After the Chinese, that is now number 2. Yeah, no, I'm also seeing that Flight Radar is acting up. The Chinese A330 is going all places. It's happening to me too. Britty Hopper, Embraer 190, arriving from Leeds. That's how to do it. That's how to do it. KLM Cargo is moving. Air China Cargo A330-200 is approaching. Question is, what is going to happen first? Will Saudi traverse the runway, or is the Air China Cargo A330 going to land first?
Achter zit Air China.
Ik weet het.
Nou, hij is aan de go.
Right. We have Air China Cargo A330-200. That is arriving from Chengdu in China. Flight 3159, 11 hours and 4 minutes on the way. A330-200, 17 years old, first flight November 2007. Right, let's see. It does look like the 747 is now moving. Just in time. We have a 777-200 coming in. KLM flight 751. It is coming in from Guayaquil, and that is in 10 hours and 45 minutes on the way. 777-200 PHBQE. That's Bravo Quebec Echo. The airplane is 21 years old. First flight was in January 2004. Queenie in the background. And the Chinese triple just now has been pushed back. You can see that the flaps are not set yet. It's moving a bit forward, but that's the tow truck. Means that the pushback is still in progress. And indeed, Leroy, that Saudia is not the one that just came in. It is a different one. So what is going to happen next after it has been pushed back is that they are going to set the parking brakes, they will start the engines, they will do a controls check, they will lower the flaps and set the flaps and slats to the takeoff configuration. They continue going through the checklist, and once the checklist is completed, they will ask permission for, they will ask clearance for taxi, and they'll start taxiing to the assigned runway. The checking of the controls you can usually see. You will also see that almost always the flaps and slats are lowered simultaneously. In the meantime, Vueling flight 8309 is arriving from Barcelona. And KLM flight 1216 arriving from Stockholm is after that. Sorry, Han, for missing your favorite airplane. Hey there, Ground. Good evening. Welcome back. Paul, happy Easter. Welcome back, mate. So, airplane number 2 arriving to the Kaagbaan right now is Delta Airlines flight 164. That's an A330 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I am going to turn the camera around for that. I'm hoping we can see the controls check before then. Haven't heard the engine start yet. KLM flight 1216 is now approaching. You will hear that on the mic. 737-800 arriving from Stockholm, from KLM. Definitely more blue sky also at the western horizon, and you can now hear one of the airplane's engines starting. Instantaneously recognizable, the sound of GE90s. Ryan, long time no see. Welcome back, mate, and welcome to everybody else who just joined us. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at runway 06. The elevators are now checked. The flaps are lowering. You can see the ailerons also, and after that, the rudder. Checking the aileron, and then the rudder lastly. Time for Delta Airlines flight 164 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330-300. 7 hours and 46 minutes on the way. November 808, November Whiskey. 21 years old, first flight March 2004. And thank you, Marissa, who warned us that the 747 from Saudia is now lined up on center. Now rolling. Zeker, zeker. Beetje digitale zoom nog over de optische zoom en je kan het heel goed zien. Hier, kijk maar. Saudia 747. Ja, met een beetje digitale zoom.
Dan moet ik nog wel even gaan sparen. Moet ik nog wel even,
Hey, one step at a time, one step at a time. Sadia 747? Yeah, even visually quite clearly visible. We're standing beautifully in line with the center runway. Zoom, zoom, zoom. The heat wave distortion is pretty intense already. It is not nearly as warm as the heat wave distortion makes it seem. One Chinese will be leaving soon and the other Chinese is arriving. Karsten has to go. Karsten, see you later mate. Thank you for joining.
Dit is dan dat ik zeg maar heb als ik hem helemaal
Oh ja, ja.
Dat lukt totaal niet, maar
Dat is inderdaad ietsjes minder scherp.
ja, ook iets minder optimaal.
18 to 55 millimeters. That's a bit less than what is in my camera. That's 600 optical. And then up to 400 times digital zoom in addition to that. Hey Marja, that's good news. Marja is informing us that the ETA of the A380 now has become 12:59. Once again, heel chill indeed. Once again making up some time. And there's also a quad squad Contrail passing overhead. Lufty, unmistakably. 7478. Or is it? I'm inclined to say that's a 7478. First clearly visible contrail of the show. And you can see, looking at the western horizon, it's opening up here. Sunny weather is returning to the Netherlands, luckily.
Heb je nog regen gehad de laatste paar dagen dat je hier bent geweest?
Nee, geen regen. Gisterochtend was het wel nat. Het heeft wel geregend van eergisteren op gisteren.
Het was vooral nog vochtig ook.
Ja, maar niet veel hoor. Stefan, who lives pretty far away from here, asked if we had rain over here in the last couple of days, and I told him that we didn't have any substantial rain, just a few droplets overnight from the day before yesterday to yesterday. And there apparently is another airplane, A340, behind it on the same track. I'm not seeing anything just yet. The contrail of the other airplane is still visible vaguely over there. It is lovely to see here. Blue sky and then a bit of haziness, and there are some low clouds over here. I'm not sure if the camera can convey all the details as intricately as we can see it with our own eyes, but it is looking really lovely. Now there's another A330 coming in as number 2 right after this KLM Embraer 175. This is KLM flight 1830, arriving from Stuttgart. 1 hour and a minute on the way. Ja, ja. Nou, de eerste 747 die vandaag landde, die knalde echt super hard op de landingsbaan. Die stuiterde echt. Daar maak ik nog een aparte video van later. Was just discussing with Stefan that the first 747 that we saw today really smashed into the runway really hard and bounced.
De 747 zag ik ook nog, die aanlijst net nog een keer bounced, maar niet zo erg.
Nee, dit was wel next level. Ik weet niet zo erg als die bij LAX van Lufty, but getting close.
Ja, die van Martinair die een keer ook zo hard is geknald. Waar zit hij daar rechts? Achter jou.
Oh ja, not producing a contrail, that bastard. Well, I'm not going to show you it.
Dat is waarom je waarschijnlijk ook niet zag.
Precies, precies. If it doesn't produce a contrail, it's hard to see. This is KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire. A33200. It's the PH-AOB, which I think we also saw leave yesterday. Now returning after 8 hours and 50 minutes of flight. Well, yeah, not all airplanes passing overhead are producing contrails apparently today. Now Dunn says that the A380's ETA is 101 again. It keeps hovering around 1 o'clock, and usually when it does that, the ATC gods are not favorable to us, so I definitely would not get up my hopes too high with respect to the A380 landing on this runway. Leroy says, that's odd, the 747 was passing by at 32,000 feet, it was producing a contrail, and the A340 at 34,000 feet wasn't. You'd think it was the other way around, wouldn't you?
De Air die is nu ook later, die komt op 51.
Iceland Air is delayed a little bit, but still an ETA of 10 minutes to 1, so still expected before the A380. Hey there, Jonas, who is tuning in from Franco da Rocha in Brazil. Bom dia. It's nice to see that we are also slowly but surely getting more traction in Brazil. Big country, a lot of people who are able to watch, and more of them finding the channel. Now, if you guys have been enjoying the stream so far and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. Liking and subscribing really helps to promote the channel and its content to new viewers like yourselves, awesome people who are into live streams like these, but just simply haven't heard of AMS Live yet. Transavia 737-800 arriving from Olbia. Landed beautifully. Adria says Brazil is not in. You ask, we deliver. Now, Kian says in Dutch, your streams are really nice. Thank you so much, Kian. Glad to hear you're enjoying them. Hope that goes for everybody. Watching the streams during school, Stefan confirms. That is a nice way of spending your time. AMS Live has been helping you procrastinate schoolwork and normal jobs since 2022. Spread the word. Geluid op de achtergrond, sound in the background. And then dreaming away. Not listening to the teacher.
Doing just focusing on different stuff in school.
Has that happened before, that the teacher caught you watching AMS Live? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, Stefan. That's the most important thing. As long as the grades are good enough, the teachers need to shut the F up. Yeah, but Dutch is also quite difficult. I also found it quite difficult. Wolfgang is also back. What did I miss? How long have you been gone? You did see the smashing landing of the 747, right? So we have two KLMs coming in. On the right in the center now we have KLM flight 1164, that's arriving from Bergen, 737-800, and on the left we have KLM flight 744, that's a 777-300 arriving from Lima in Peru.
Mag ik jou wat vragen?
Tuurlijk.
Welk niveau heb jij gedaan?
Wat zeg je?
Welk niveau heb jij gedaan?
Welk niveau heb ik gedaan op school? Ik heb gymnasium gedaan. Dus met Grieks en Latijn.
Ik doe nu TL, ik ben haven afgestroomd misschien.
Ah, oké.
Ik vond wiskunde op haven te lastig.
Wiskunde is ook lastig. We're talking about the difficulties of mathematics.
TL is wat te doen.
Yeah, I was still in the system where you had subjects and not profiles, so I could choose individual subjects where to do exam in and where not to do exams in. I definitely skipped mathematics. If you have a teacher for 4 years in a row who constantly keeps explaining things to you the same way as they did before, and that results in you still not understanding what they're saying, it's better to just ditch it. Now I did have to go and do math after all before going to university in the first time, and then when going to university for the second time I also still had to do biology and physics and chemistry. So in the end I have done all the exact subjects after all. This is KLM flight 744 before going off to a tangent too long. This is KLM flight 744 777-300 arriving from Lima in Peru. That's in the same continent as it's almost next to it, but not quite. 11 hours and 39 minutes on the way. Nee, precies. Goede upgrade.
Nu gaat het nog steeds voor een upgrade. Ik wil nu naar een 18200 led, zeg maar.
Ja. Heb je misschien ook nog wel een statief nodig hoor, met zoveel brandpuntsafstand.
Ja.
Or a good stabilizer in the camera. Still?
Automatic stabilizer.
Somewhere over there behind you, Stefan, should be a Qatar triple.
Ik laat je wel even.
I'm just checking to see if I can find it already. It should be over there somewhere, although it's flying in the vicinity of Nieuwkoop, so it's it's sometimes it's you have to see it if you don't. Oh yeah, it's already a bit further to the right, like a needle in a haystack. Where did I see it just now?
Als ik in de weg sta, moet je het zeggen.
Is goed. Nee, je staat niet in de weg hoor. Just a brief shot. That's Qatar 777 cargo.
Nee, ik wil jij niet in de weg staan.
Nee, dat is goed, Stefan. Als je in de weg staat, dan hoor je het. Maar dat is helemaal geen probleem. Not a problem at all. Hey, aborted landing. It's going around. Why though? I'm looking behind me. The runway is clear.
Misschien probleempje zo.
So Transavia flight 5356 arriving from Faro.
Misschien kreeg ze een waarschuwing op een dashboard dat iets met windshear of zo.
Yeah, but it's not weather where you typically experience wind shear. It's a sunny day. So we're going to see that for another time. Yeah. Well, if anybody was listening in on ATC and if it has been discussed why the go-around took place, by all means share with us in the chat.
Als je wil, dan zet ik ATC op.
Nee hoor, dat is goed. We horen het wel of niet. Our next airplane to arrive is coming in from Milan. It's an A320neo. It is an EasyJet. 1 hour and 16 minutes on the way. 6-year-old airplane, first flight June 2018.
Ik ga even kijken hoe laat die Airbus 380 gaan. 380 komt nog steeds om 1 over 1 aan.
380 komt nog steeds om 1 over 1 aan. De A380 is still expected 1 minute past 1. Wat ik van de Orange Pride vind.
Ik vind hem dope.
I liked it better when it was in the gradient livery. I like the gradient better than the sharp border with the tricolor swoosh.
Ja, dat ben ik wel mee eens. Ik heb zelfs een vliegtuigmodel van die Orange Pride.
Right. Let's see. EasyJet is going to be next. Qatar should be next after that. My flight radar tells me it should still be flying. Oh no, it is turning in now.
Oké, EasyJet, Qatar inderdaad. En daarna hebben we
Ibisjet.
EasyJet, Qatar, KLM.
Yeah, there's also a BizJet coming. Arriving from Salzburg, flying just north of Alphen aan de Rijn. Not sure in which order they are going to land.
We krijgen misschien zo meteen nog een Lufthansa 380 over ons heen.
Lufthansa 380?
Ja, misschien, maar dat ligt een beetje aan. Het zit nu nog, zit nu nog boven zee hoor.
Oké.
Maar als we een beetje geluk hebben...
Van west naar oost. Van west naar oost dus.
Oh ja, het gaat nu richting München.
Oké.
Maar ik weet niet hoe de checkpoint zit, want ik heb dat ding niet aanstaan.
Meanwhile over here, Kazakh. And Kazakh is arriving from Edinburgh. It's an A320neo. Banking left and right a little bit shortly before the touchdown. Nothing substantial. Brand new airplane. First flight was in February this year.
Ik was nog een keer geweest toen jij er niet was. Toen miste ik de Ice Air 757 Aurora Borealis bij like 2 minuten of zoiets.
Oh ja, ja, dat is een mooie. De Aurora Borealis Special Livery 757.
Dat is net niet. Het ligt volgens mij iets over.
Yeah, I'm hearing something pass overhead. I'm already looking up, but I'm not seeing anything.
Ik zie hem wel. Ik weet niet wat het is.
Right, so we're still waiting with anticipation to see what the ETA of the A380 is going to become. It's continuously been hovering around 1 p.m. And if it is landing after 1 p.m., it is going to land on the wrong runway. If it is landing before 1 p.m., it might still go to the wrong runway as the very first airplane. But the likelihood of it going to the right runway, namely the runway we are standing next to, will increase. So the sooner it arrives, the better. And it has to arrive before 1 p.m. So we constantly keep checking. Now the ETA is at 12:59. This is Qatar Cargo, the airplane that we saw on the downwind leg a couple of minutes ago. This is flight 8207 arriving from Doha. 6 hours and 7 minutes on the way. It's a 777 freighter. Registration is the A7BFP. That's Bravo Foxtrot Papa. 6-year-old airplane. First flight February 2019. It certainly is teasing us, isn't it, Paul? The A380. And there should be a BizJet coming in after this, by the looks of it. Arriving from Salzburg, Cessna Citation by the looks of it.
Gaat hier Schiphol Oost?
Nee, die komt hierheen. Gently landing, that is how you should do it. Undoubtedly, this airplane is going to take a right-hand turn at the end of the runway and will be landing. Will be parked on the south side of the cargo apron.
Heb je nog Captain Willy gezien in de tussentijd?
Captain Willy has been MIA for a long time now. We've seen Captain Wheelski. I think Captain Wheelski, the Polish version of Captain Wheelie, is the last time we saw anybody who was making a substantial wheelie in an Embraer 190. We did see a KLM 777 that made a substantial wheelie not too long ago.
Maybe he changed from the
Maybe
to the...
that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Maybe Captain Wheelie has made promotion to the wide body fleet. No, but we are expecting a Bear Line Cessna Citation CJ2 next. And don't get cross when I mention the registration. It's the OE Fox. That's FUX. Foxtrot Uniform X-ray. Fox. As in ATC fucks you over.
Yep, exactly.
Exactly like that.
They did it today already, the Orange Pride. Want die hele tijd was hij dicht en precies toen de Orange Pride daar naartoe ging, ging hij weer open.
Lufty flyby A380 permanent. Think I have it. It's not producing a contrail, but I am seeing something big, which I hope I am able to show you.
Ik zie hem niet, dat is echt slecht.
Let's see. Oh, that's not an A380.
Die gaat de verkeerde kant op ook.
Well, that's the thing. Airplanes passing overhead aren't producing a contrail.
Deze is de Discover 330.
Discover A330 might well be. It was a twin jet.
Ja, dat is
For now, let's focus on what we can see best, and that is this bare line Cessna Citation CJ2. It is arriving from Salzburg in Austria, 1 hour and 25 minutes on the way, 23 years old, first flight somewhere in 2002. It's the OE Fox. There you go. Ohayou gozaimasu, Ari. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Next up is KLM Flight 1614 arriving from Milan, and after that the Transavia arriving from Faro that went around just now, going for its second attempt. Not yet visible, but soon will be.
Als je toch 3 keer achter elkaar om bent gegaan, dan moet je toch naar een andere visveld? Of dacht je gaat naar een andere visveld?
Dat weet ik niet of dat per se zo is. Ik weet wel dat ze nog wel eens een andere landingsbaan proberen als er crosswind is of zo.
Ja, of dat inderdaad.
Het ligt er ook een beetje aan hoeveel benzine ze nog hebben, hè?
Ja.
Hoe vaak kun je nog een poging doen?
Ja, en anders gaan ze naar...
Anders dan gaan ze ergens anders naartoe.
Naar Rotterdam of naar Groningen of
Ja,
naar Lelystad.
kan ook naar Brussel of naar Londen
Ja,
of naar Düsseldorf.
maar vaak zo'n kleintje die gaan dan wel in hetzelfde land.
Well, one thing we know for sure that is that the A380 coming to Schiphol will enter Dutch airspace pretty soon, and then we can have a look at omgevingsinfo and see where it is going to land.
Waar kun je dat zien dan, waar die geland is?
Um,
Alleen nog iets achteruit.
yeah, there's a website I used to use, Casper Aero. If you Google Casper Aero Schiphol, you will find the flight tracker. It is from Bezoekbus these days. If you click on the airplanes that have entered into the Netherlands, a label will appear, and if you click on that label, you will see what runway it has been assigned to. It will say Kaagbaan or Polderbaan.
Top, want dat is wel fijn voor... Dan weten we gelijk waar die 80 is.
Right, and now it is an ETA of 8 minutes past 1. Right. KLM flight, Transavia flight 5356 is arriving from Faro, a 737-800. Second attempt at landing went around earlier. 2 hours and 30 minutes on the way now. The PHHZW, that's Hotel Zulu Whiskey. 22 years old, first flight April 2002. Weet ik niet meer.
Weet ik ook niet.
Weet ik niet meer.
Dat namelijk nog de reden zijn.
Right, so current status quo. Looking to the north, things look like this. Looking to the west, it looks like so. Looking to the east, even in the east now, for the first time, more openings. And looking to the south, it looks even more open. Z9 cubing, good afternoon. Welcome one and all. So we are waiting for the A380. Duns just now checked and its ETA was past 1 o'clock. That means it's probably going to land on 36 right. We have two 737s coming this way. KLM flight 1602 arriving from Rome. That is the closest by. And the airplane a bit further away. KLM flight 1354 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Zooming out, you can also see that the flies are returning. They are hovering above me. They're hovering over there.
They're hovering right near us.
I'm wondering if they are flies or if they are mosquitoes. Maybe they're mosquitoes, even. So this is KLM flight 1602 arriving from Rome. 737-800, 1 hour and 53 minutes on the way. The PHBCB Bravo Charlie Bravo, 13 years old, first flight May 2011. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. And welcome to the show, all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at Kaagbaan, runway 06, the primary runway for arrivals, although in 20 or so minutes from now, runway 36 right is also going to reopen. And from then on, we are going to see converging arrivals. The biggest share of viewers is Dutch, 40% or so, but the majority is, of course, 60%. That's not; those are not Dutch. So the biggest share is Dutch. The majority isn't Dutch. Yeah. Next up, KLM flight 1354 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic.
It's vooral Europa, of niet?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. American viewers constitute the fourth biggest.
Oh wow. No, it's vooral,
yeah, and what constitutes Europe? Because the Brits are number 2. Is that still Europe after Brexit? It's Dutch. It's Dutch is number 1, number 2, and number 3 are very close, almost 10% each of them. That's the Brits and the Germans. Americans are number 4, and these days the Aussies are number 5.
Oh ja, maar vooral zeg maar wel gewoon Nederland, Duitsland en Engeland.
Yeah, neighboring countries. Yeah. Although the Belgians are lacking, they're a bit behind schedule. Also not a lot of Frenchies.
Maar je gaat eigenlijk de hele wereld wel een beetje over.
Viewers from across the globe, absolutely, absolutely. In the meantime, good afternoon Milan, good afternoon Ben, good afternoon all others who have joined in the meantime. So yeah, the A380. It's now 20 minutes to 1. And the ETA, when we checked, had become almost 10 minutes past 1. Let's double check quickly and see. It's now almost entering Dutch airspace, so in a few moments from now we ought to be able to find which runway it will be assigned to, but its ETA is still 6 minutes past 1, so don't get your hopes up too high for runway 06, guys. It's almost certainly going to land on 36 right. Iceland Air is going to arrive in 3 or so minutes. And a special livery from Lot. Noise.
Deze.
Welke? Oh, Birmingham, Missouri. That's a sticker. That's a promotional sticker for a part in the northeast of Poland with a lot of lakes and forests. Really nice.
Na die lot krijgen we de Ice Air.
Yeah, I do see it already on Flight Radar. I zoomed out a little bit. Oh. Zooming out again, zooming in again on Flight Radar and trying to follow airplanes. This is KLM flight 1818, Embraer 175, arriving from Frankfurt. 44 minutes on the way. PHEXT, that's Echo X-Ray Tango. 7 years old, first flight January 2018. Leroy says Polderbaan, A380 Polderbaan. That's interesting.
Polderbaan?
That means they are going to change the runway use.
What?
In that case, let us have a look and see what Bezoek Bas is saying. That's an interesting development. That's what you get when you hardly have any wind. They can change things up. In that respect, it's better when there's more wind. Yeah, from 11:40 they already mentioned takeoffs from Kaagbaan. And from 1 o'clock they are going to switch to all the 18 runways. That means they are going to close the runway we are standing next to if this goes through. Because there's an alternative that says Kaagbaan landing and also for 11:40 until 1 o'clock landing. Yeah, so there's no alternative scenario for the runway use from 1 o'clock and later. It says Polderbaan for arrivals, Zwanenburgbaan for arrivals, the center runway, and takeoffs from 18 left. So that means that this stream is going to end pretty soon because we're not going to see the A380 land over here. We might catch a glimpse of it when it is landing on the Polderbaan. But yeah, the wind hasn't been blowing very hard, and that's always an issue here when the wind is not very substantial. They might change the runway use. Birmingham, Missouri, livery from Polish Airlines. And that is a very polished landing. A380 going to the wrong runway once again. Well, yeah, if it has been assigned to the Polderbaan, then it's probably going to fly to, yeah. The A380 is already on course further to the northwest.
Ja, die gaat richting de Polderbaan inderdaad.
Yeah, that does look like it is going to the Polderbaan.
Maar we hebben nog 5 vliegtuigen die hier landen, daarna houdt het hier ook goed van op.
Lise, just in time to witness the end of the stream. Runway roulette. A380 is in Dutch airspace, but it's going to land on the Polderbaan of all runways. Right. Bezoek Bas just now indicating that from 1 o'clock onwards, this runway is going to close for business, and they're going to use the runways 18 left, right, and center. Arrivals taking place on 18 right and center. 18 left is going to be used for departures. That means nothing is going to happen here. Everything that takes place will be at a distance, so if that's going to go through, which it looks like it will, means that come 1 o'clock this stream is going to end.
Volgens mij is de wind ook helemaal omgeslagen. Het voelt ook meer dat de wind nu gewoon vanaf daar komt.
Yeah, the wind has definitely changed a little bit, absolutely. This is Iceland Air Flight 500, arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. It is 767-300. Iceland Air 767-300, 27 years old, first flight October 1997. Next up will be TAP Air Portugal flight 668, arriving from Lisbon in Portugal. There's still a few airplanes that are coming in. Vueling already visible on the left. That's flight 1375 arriving from Alicante.
Okay.
Now let's see, everything coming in. KLM flight 622 arriving from Atlanta. Where is that going to go to?
Oké, ik snap het niet meer, want ze gaan nog steeds, er komen nu nog steeds vliegtuigen richting de polderbaan om op te stijgen.
Ja, maar de eerste vliegtuigen die daar gaan landen, die zitten nog in het oosten van het land.
Klopt,
denk
maar
ik.
soms gaan er nog 3 vliegtuigen die nu net uit de gate gaan, die gaan er waarschijnlijk nu heen.
Dat kan. Of ze worden halverwege gewisseld, dat kan ook. Hebben we ook wel eens gezien hoor.
Maar het is wel weer, het is wel weer iets zo'n typisch Schiphol om alles in één keer om te gooien. Dat is ook wel een beetje het nadeel met die 6 landingsbanen dat we hier natuurlijk nu hebben.
Ja, Schiphol has too many runways, absolutely. Now, this is TAP Airport School flight 668, arriving from Lisbon, A321neo.
Een nieuwe ding ingestopt, een nieuwe kaartje. En nu zit hij alweer bijna helemaal vol. Maar wel valt nog mee, maar ik heb nu alweer...
Veel foto's gemaakt.
Ik heb nu al 544 foto's gemaakt de laatste 2 dagen.
Right, and A350-1000 taking off from center over there, Cathay Pacific Cargo. No, not Cathay Pacific Cargo, but regular A350-1000.
Dit was de eerste foto die ik nam gisteren.
Ik ben aan het filmen, hè? Ik kan niet de hele tijd kijken en met je praten. So yeah, how many more airplanes are going to land here? We'll have to see. Is the KLM arrival from Atlanta still coming this way, the 777-300?
Lijkt erop dat... We moeten nu naar rechts gaan, anders niet meer. Maar het lijkt erop dat hij dat wel doet nog.
Ja, dat vind ik ook. It looks like the KLM arriving from Atlanta is still coming this way.
Dat is denk ik dan ook de laatste die moet doen.
So this is Vueling flight 1375 arriving from Alicante, a regular A320. The dot is still in place. Atlanta is assigned to 24. 06 you mean Dance? Yeah. Cool, it is still coming. Yeah, so the 777 is still coming. I always think, oh yeah, we should be able to see it. And in actuality, we are. There you go. This is it. Flying off the coast of Zandvoort. KLM flight 622. Arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 777-300. So let me get my bearings in. That's, yeah, over there somewhere between the building next to the station, the buildings next to the station of Hoofddorp. But yeah, looking at the flags over here, you can see the wind has changed. So quick look at the METAR, which we haven't updated in a while, tells us that the wind has become more southerly. It was further northeasterly, now has turned to south. So yeah, it is logical that they then are going to use the north-south runways in southerly direction. Even though the wind speed is not very substantial, it's very calm actually. So there's still a couple of airplanes that are coming this way. It looks like KLM flight 1186 arriving from Christiansand is also coming this way. And the same might also go for KLM flight 980 arriving from London City. I'm not sure about that one, but it certainly looks like it is still coming this way. In the meantime, I'm pasting the METAR into the ticker for you guys. Not that we will have a lot of time to continue reading it.
1, 2, 3.
With everything coming to a halt around 1 o'clock approximately.
Die kan ook nog hierheen.
Right.
We hebben nog 4 die eraan komen als het goed is. Die na deze 2. Althans, we hebben nu nog 6.
Hadi Klaartje, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. The EC non-disclosure agreement, NDA, is coming in. Delta from Seattle coming to the Kaagbaan 2, Ramon says. Interesting to see what is going to happen. Ryanair arriving from Dublin. Which runway has it been assigned to?
Die denk nog net niet in Nederland de ergste is.
Norwegian is coming in next, and the France asks if you can also listen to air traffic control. You certainly can. If you go to liveatc.net, you can find all the feeds of air traffic control here at Schiphol Airport. Inbound, outbound, ground, the ATIS for inbound and for outbound. In the meantime, a 3 airplane glide slope shot. Traffic is still coming to runway 06 for the time being. Norwegian in the Peter C. Bjornsson livery. Well, no, that's what Flight Radar says, but the picture and this footage are showing that is utter bullcrap. It's an all-white airplane. In the meantime, the A380 is over Lelystad. Sander is going. So A380 is landing on Polderbaan. Runway 18 right. Not yet open for arrivals, but soon will be. Hey there, Alameen, good to see ya. So we have KLM flight 914 on the right. That's arriving from Aberdeen. That's number 190. On the left, we have KLM flight 622. That's a 777-300 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Looks like there are 2 more Embraers still coming this way. Kristiansand and London City. After that, I think it is game over. No, wait, there's another airplane also coming in from the east by the looks of it. Air Baltic, arriving from Riga. Still coming this way. The A380 is flying towards Hoorn and Purmerend. Oh yeah, and Delta Airlines flight 144 is also coming this way, right? Interesting developments. Now, for those of you joining us later, you may have missed a very rough landing of one of the 2 747s that landed here today. It was a 747-8 from Cathay Pacific Cargo. It smashed into the runway, causing seismologists to register an earthquake in the Netherlands with an epicenter here at Schiphol Airport. I will make a separate video of it. You can expect it a few hours after the stream. If you guys are subscribed and have the bell icons on, you should be notified when that happens. If you're not, then now still is the time to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Clemencia also back in the chat. Good to see you, Clemencia. This is KLM flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 777-300 7 hours and 15 minutes on the way. The PHBVB, 17 years old, first flight March 2008. Floaty.
takeoffs doen. Dus dat lijkt het nu wel.
Right, right. Well, Delta Airlines Flight 144 is still coming this way full as well. That might form the last airplane then.
Nog 2 vliegtuigen die opstijgen op
Yeah, 3 more airplanes ready to take off, Dennis also says. Hey Diana, goedemiddag. Diana asks, what did I miss? You missed a smashing landing from Cathay Pacific Cargo. Really bouncy. I'll make a separate video of that later. That was one of the hardest landings we've seen with the 747.
Maar die Cathay Pacifics, die hebben wel lekker veel zin hierin, hè?
Ja.
Vorige keer gingen ze een go-around inzetten, nu landen ze hard.
Inderdaad, dat was ook. Stefan correctly remarks that the go-around of the last minute go-around of the 747-8 here was also a Cathay Pacific Cargo. That is still coming this way. And I wonder...
747 die zit daar nu achter te pushbacken.
I wonder what is going to happen with the BizJet and the Ryanair. Ryanair. Is that coming? Is that coming this?
Die gaat nu pushbacken, dezelfde.
Okay.
Die gaat nu naar Frankfurt.
The airplane that landed so roughly is now getting pushed back, the 747-8, and is going to Frankfurt. Let's have a look. So it looks like Polderbaan is only going to open up for the A380 as it stands, and everything else still coming this way. What? The subject of a separate video coming later today, this airplane, not this, but because the way it landed, Cathay Pacific Cargo. So right now it looks like the Emirates A380 is the only airplane that is on their way to the Polderbaan, interestingly enough. The rest of... Sorry?
Transavia zit erachter en die gaat er nu ook heen.
Transavia also, yeah. Well, there's a BizJet that is turning in. Ryanair seems to be coming this way. Transavia arriving from Seville is still coming this way. It's interesting to see. The majority of traffic coming in is still going to this runway, as if nothing has happened. Visa comes, visa goes. Adriaan says that the last of the Polderbaan departures will be leaving pretty soon. They have to, because the Emirates is getting closer by.
The last one is now taking off.
Yeah, the last is now rolling. Yeah. It's happening quickly. It's happening quickly. So everything arriving from the east is going to the Polderbaan, and right now everything coming from the west and from the southwest is still coming this way. Interesting. It looks like the runway use is different from what they are saying at Bezoekbus. It looks like they are, maybe they are going to open up, maybe going to open up Buitenvelderbaan for departures and then take this runway and the Polderbaan for arrivals. That's what they've done with wind from the east before. It is a bit strange, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, unless the Ryanair that is now turning to the south is going to be the last airplane, and everything from then on is going to go to the north-south oriented runways. It is a significant runway change, so it does take a little time to effectuate. So, Emirates A380 is now approaching the glide slope of the Polderbaan. And I think I have the bastard. It's such a big airplane. It's hard to miss. Happened to spot it. There it is. Or no, wait, that's a Dreamliner. That's a departure. Yeah, that's a Dreamliner. I thought I was seeing it, but that's probably the last departure from the polderbaan.
Kijk, daar gaat ook eentje de lucht in. Rechts. Volgens mij is die rechter opengegooid.
Yeah. So what I was already suspecting now seems to have been confirmed by this outbound traffic. 09 has become the primary runway for outbound traffic, and inbound traffic is now divided over runway 06 and runway 18 right.
18 right.
Air Baltic, flight 621, arriving from Riga. Right. Let me quickly update the ticker with respect to runway use. So we now basically have seen what they have done. The departures take place from 09, the arrivals are to 06 and to 18 right. There we go. Hey there, Avi, good to see ya. Hope all is well. Happy Easter Friday to all of you. So I think I still see it, the A380. Was it over there? Where is the sign? No, it's a bit further to the... Yes, there it is. That's unmistakably the A380. Emirates Flight 147 is now approaching the wrong runway, as it almost always does. Before we're going to see it land, let's quickly pan back. Delta Airlines Flight 144 arriving from Seattle, Washington. 9 hours and 40 minutes on the way. November 822, November Whiskey, the registration. This particular airplane is 9 years old, first flight April 2015. Oh, nice combo shot with a Dreamliner bank robber from Air Canada, who has taken the loot and is scooting, getting out of there. Bank robber took our money. A380 in the meantime is coming this way. A Transavia arriving from Seville is next to land here on runway 06, and after that we are going to see a bizjet that is arriving from Celiac City, aka London Luton. If you joined us only just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. The sun is starting to shine more and more over here. It's warming up. We have wind that was blown from the northwest initially, no, northeast, and has now become more southerly. Runway use is going to change. For now, the 06, the runway we are standing next to, is still open for arrivals. Now Polderbaan has also opened up. It was used for departures to the north earlier. Now it is accepting arrivals from the north. The A380 is going to the wrong runway. I think here we are going to lose sight of it, because there are trees and a highway in the way. Let's quickly pan back and have a look at the Transavia arrival from Seville. Flight 6728. We still have a Queen that is going out. Queenie will depart from runway 09 pretty soon. It landed here and it came in with a massive bang. I will make a separate video out of its landing, which you will be able to see later in the day.
Alle vliegtuigen is inderdaad 06 en ze zitten met 18 rechtop.
Yeah. It is. It's the. They've shown their cards. Now we know what the runway configuration is going to be like. BizJet coming in next. NetJets number 8 on flight radar, tracked by 509 people. Arriving from Celiac City, aka London Luton. Left from London 43 minutes ago. It's a Bombardier Challenger 350. 9-year-old airplane, hailing from the year 2016. And Hamish is also back in the chat. Hamish asks, did you hear that the Antonov 124 was in Brisbane? I didn't. Now I have. That's quite a sight to behold. Now, after this, Ryanair and KLM Embraer 175 arriving from Stavanger. First up, this BizJet, the second of the show that we are seeing landing on this runway, runway 06. No, you don't see these every day. Well, you see them at a distance perhaps, but not landing on 06. It does happen, but not always. 7478 Saudia Cargo is now traversing the runway. The runway it landed on so hard there are probably still dimples in the tarmac. I'm surprised that the gear didn't break. Well, luckily it didn't break. Would have made for some spectacular footage if it did, but no, let's be thankful that it isn't.
It could have caused a big fire as well.
Elizabeth just watched it. Wow, she says. That's exactly what we were all saying when it happened as well. It's not as firm as the Lufty that landed on LAX several months ago, but it definitely was getting close to it.
It wants to make a good show out of it.
Yeah, showmanship in not the right way. Ryanair is arriving from Dublin. Right, so everything arriving from the east is going to the northerly runway. Everything coming in from, well, no, not everything, because there's also an Embraer 175 from Düsseldorf that is coming this way. Yeah, well, Turkish arriving from Istanbul is going to the northerly runway, and Sky Express arriving from Athens is coming this way. Yeah, I'm checking. Yeah, there is a 777 arriving from Rio de Janeiro that is now flying a little bit east of Ghent. Flying over Alter. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's also a 777 that is flying over France, arriving from Sao Paulo, heading to Lille and to the border of France and Belgium. Well, that first triple is already almost in Dutch airspace, so the weather is good. Worthwhile to stick around for another 15 or so minutes until the triple has landed, at least. So yeah, we have arrivals taking place on Polderbaan, that is to the north. Huh?
De tail van de 380 is...
Oh yeah, the tail of the A380. As it is traversing the center runway. That's all we can see from over here, unfortunately. But it is so tall, you are able to see it from quite a distance away. Hey, Emirates Sky Cargo is getting pushed back. If it is gone, it'll only leave the A330-200 from Air China Cargo. It has its cargo hatch on the front of the fuselage, unlike the Emirates and the other 777s, which have it at the back. Meanwhile, Diamond a dozen 737 KLM. Let's indulge and have a look at the Emirates Sky Cargo getting pushed back. Or at least, let's turn around and see when the engines are starting and the control panels are being checked. Next airplane to arrive over here is Welling, flight 8312, arriving from Barcelona. Barcelona. Sí. Sí, señor. 1 hour and 44 minutes on the way. It's the ECKCU. First flight was in March 2007, making this airplane 18 years old already. KLM 737-900 behind it, which is also arriving from Barcelona, and you can hear that the first engine is starting. First of the GE90s from Emirates Sky Cargo. And as we are moving along with this airplane to the other side, where the Emirates is also now starting, we'll have a look and see the controls check and whatnot. So one of the triple's engines already began. The second is going to start pretty soon. Like I said before, you will see that they are going to do a controls check after the engines have started. They'll simultaneously set the flaps and the slats in takeoff position. And after the checklist is completed and everything is normal and is set, they will request taxi clearance. That's engine number 2, GE90.
Als je 747 ziet maken op een herrie, joh. Dat is ook echt de enige die echt nog super veel herrie maakt.
A330's ook.
Ja.
A330's also make a lot of noise. We're discussing what airplanes make a lot of noise.
Nou, dat met de grotere.
The bigger, usually. Absolutely.
De 380 maakt minder geluid dan de 74, toch?
Well, the A380 has GE&X engines. Those are more quiet than the engines of the 747-400. No, wait, the GE&X is on the... I'm confusing things. The 747-8 has GE&X engines. The A380 has different engines. They are a bit similar to the ones that are on the A350, I think. Adria says, then you haven't heard the moped from the neighbor kid. Which is also making a lot of noise. Well, that's the rudder being checked. You can see the flaps are now set. The slats have 2. The slats are those things that come down on the leading edge of the wings, together with the flaps that lower at the end of the wing. They help to improve lift at low speeds. Well, lift period, but that's particularly handy when flying low speeds. Now, for as well, Emirates is going to taxi pretty soon. The next airplane is announcing itself by its engine sounds. It is a 737-700 arriving from Venice, from KLM. And lo and behold, the Emirates Sky Cargo has begun taxiing. Adam says that the Cathay landed with all the gracefulness of an elephant in tap shoes. Mate, that is a proper vivid description that will inform anybody who hasn't seen it what type of landing it was. Flying west, east, north of me. I'm almost inclined to say it looks like Cathay, but might also be something else. It is a twin jet. It's too far to see the details, so let's refrain from guessing and just continue with what we can see best here. This is KLM flight 1450 arriving from Toulouse, E2 Embraer 195. One hour and 27 minutes on the way. The PH NXO, that's November X-ray Oscar.
De Genera 777 die komt om 7 na half 2.
Okay.
Die andere koffie moeten laden.
Yeah. Yeah, so 777s are coming from Rio de Janeiro and from Sao Paulo. Approaching slowly but surely. Outbound traffic we can also see over there behind the tree. Something that left from runway 09 just now.
En als we een beetje geluk hebben, krijgen we de Qatar ook nog. Die is op 48.
Qatar what?
Qatar 777.
Qatar 777.
Nou, ik ben bang dat
Nah, that's probably going to go to the Polderbaan. Ramon says that the 747 is lining up for takeoff from 09. In that case, let us have a look at it pretty soon. You can see that the airplanes are crabbing ever so slightly. The wind has changed to the south. They are landing to the northeast. So when the wind is blowing a bit from the south, there's crosswind from right to left, and that makes them lean into us a little bit. Hey there, Brody. Good to see you again, mate. Welcome back. Elizabeth thanks me for the stream and says it's time to sleep. Good night from Australia. Elizabeth, thank you for joining us. Sleep well. Hope to see you again later sometime soon. This is Sky Express flight 790 A321 Neo arriving from Athens, where it left from 2 hours and 55 minutes ago. 6-year-old airplane, first flight April 2018. And there's the Cathay Pacific Cargo 7478 that just now took off from runway 09. Next airplane to arrive over here is Air France flight 1740, and that is an A220-300, the Fahazu Foxtrot Hotel Zulu Uniform. FH Zoo. 2-year-old airplane, first flight March 2023. Bombardier C Series. A220s. On paper they're Airbuses, but the design was made by Bombardier and you can clearly see that. BizJet heritage oozing out of its pores. Same whistle as the E2 Embraer 195. They're not exactly the same engines, but they are of the same engine family. Right, let's have a look. Airplanes are coming in. There's also an A318 coming in from Air France that is now flying in the vicinity of The Hague. Quite a few narrow bodies are still coming in. The 777 arriving from Rio de Janeiro is in the vicinity of The Hague and is flying behind the A318. So that's going to make a nice combo shot. Should arrive pretty soon. First up, Air France, KLM South. Air France up. Embraer 190 arriving from Lyon. 1 hour and 9 minutes on the way. And we see another narrow body on the left. That's KLM flight 1800. That's arriving from Düsseldorf. Meanwhile, also Karsten, herzlich willkommen. Peppi Pittel, servus. Schön dich wieder zu sehen. And Sashi, good day. So she says that hello from the Delta A330 that just took off behind Cathay 747. Our pilot gave you guys a shout out and told everyone to watch using the Wi-Fi. You're kidding, right? Did they actually? Wow, that is amazing. Two airplanes visible right now. Air France just now landed. It is back to KLM now. KLM flight 1800, Embraer 175 arrival from Düsseldorf is on the right, and on the left we have an E2 Embraer 195 also from KLM, arrival from Florence. Embraer 175 after that. Transavia arriving from Reykjavik. First up, KLM flight 1800, arriving from Düsseldorf, JD's hometown. 30 minutes of flight, 97 nautical miles.
Oké, de 777-200 is nu op de glijstrook. Is nu in de glijstrook als het goed is. Of begint de glijstrook nu in te sturen.
Perfect. First triple is coming.
Nog 5 vliegtuigen, dus de KLM, Transavia, Air France en daarna is het niet.
Meanwhile, Chris Coot is over here. Let's go to autofocus so that we can get it in view sharply. We saw Gary Grebe and his mate in the beginning of the stream. The Coots were only seen at a distance, as too were the ducks. Right now, looking on this side in the canal. I kept looking for them continuously, but they're not to be seen. So it's just Chris Coot over here, who's nibbling and drinking. Weekend has begun for Chris Coot. He's already drinking. KLM E2 Embraer 195, arriving from Florence, Firenze. Hey, Robert can chat now, awesome. What was the problem? Goedemiddag Pedro, and good afternoon all others who have joined. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We're standing here at the Kaagbaan runway 06, which together with the Polderbaan runway 18 right is now used for arrivals. Earlier in the show, 2 747s landed. One we didn't expect to see, the other we did, but we didn't expect it to land as hard as it did. Cathay Pacific Cargo, 7478. Really smashed into the runway, it bounced up again. Rest assured, I will make a separate video out of the occasion, which will be released later today, but it was spectacular if you saw it while live. This is a number 175 from KLM arriving from Turin. KLM flight 1640, 7-year-old airplane. First flight October 2017. Willem P, goedemiddag. Tessa also in the house. And Marco, just now gifting a membership, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge BFVT 5358. You now have access to 31 custom emojis if I recall correctly. Don't forget to say thank you to Marco for the gifted membership and make sure to spam us to death with all those custom emojis, guys. They're there for a reason. Every member, new and old, I encourage you to make as many inappropriate uses of the custom emojis that you can think of. Triple 200 arriving from Rio de Janeiro is coming in next. First up, Transavia flight 6888 arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. Goedemiddag, Andri, who is tuning in from Ukraine. Welcome to the show, mate. Now for something very small, followed by something that is a bit larger. It is time for a true baby bus, an A318, and behind it is a 777-200. Air France flight 1640 is coming in from Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and this is the Vergugum. And the Vergugum is an A318, hailing from 2006, 19 years old. 43 minutes the flight duration, that is nominal. Paris to Amsterdam usually averages around 40 to 45 minutes, as does London and Luxembourg. As do London and Luxembourg. The airplane that you see behind it is KLM flight 706. That is arriving from Rio de Janeiro. That's a 777-200. First up, the Vergugum baby bus. Le petit baby bus d'Air France. Talking about aviation rarities. What a cute little airplane it is, isn't it? There you go, nice. Le bébé bus. Oui, oui. Let's quickly turn around. It is KLM flight 706, that is next. to arrive. It is a 777-200 arriving from Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro lies in Latin America. You know what other country is also in that continent? You're goddamn right. This is KLM flight 706 arriving from Rio de Janeiro. 10 hours and 24 minutes on the way. The PHBQA is the registration. Papa Hotel, Bravo, Quebec, Alpha. 21-year-old airplane, first flight September 2003. Wolfgang refers to the baby bus as a shoebox with wings. Well, it is a bit more round than a shoebox is, isn't it? Little bit of reverser use there. Now I'm going to stick around until the next 777 has landed. It is approaching Qatar, unfortunately, as expected, going to the Polderbaan by the looks of it. But we are seeing that the 777-300 arriving from Sao Paulo is approaching pretty soon. Hadi Mats, good afternoon. Robin asks, I think they're changing again. Departures 36 left and center, arrivals 06. That might be the case. I don't know. They usually switch it up around 2 o'clock. So I'm not too sure. It does look like a lot of traffic is still going to the Polderbaan as 18 right. For instance, Qatar, you can see, and also EasyJet arriving from Milan. No, Malta. MLA, Malta. Egypt Air also seems to be going to the Polderbaan, so I think they are not yet going to change anytime soon, but anyway, let's zoom in again on Flight Radar. This is the Red Wine Express arriving from Bordeaux, E2 Embraer 195. Lovely show with a lot of E2 Embraers today. I think we've seen a substantial part of the current fleet in today's stream. The Red Wine Express having arrived from Bordeaux, 1 hour and 23 minutes the journey. 2-year-old airplane hailing from 2023. Next up is going to be EasyJet flight 22163 arriving from Persenchester, an A320. Visible over there. And the last airplane also visible. This is the last triplet of airplanes for today's show. EasyJet arriving from Persenchester on the far right. In the middle we have Transavia arriving from Malaga. That's an A321neo. And the 777-300 that is now third, is flying over Leiden, is arriving from Sao Paulo. After that I am going to wrap it up. So I'm already going to go ahead and say thank you all for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. A big thank you to Stefan for coming over and joining me here. My second pair of eyes. Very, very nice.
You thank you as well for being here.
You're welcome, mate.
Like you're always.
I'm almost always. Yeah. If it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday, if the weather is good, I am out here.
Amazing. I mean, it's enjoyable.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I also enjoy doing it, obviously. Happy to hear that you're enjoying it. I hope that goes for everybody. If you like what you saw and you haven't already, consider leaving a like. It really goes a long way in bringing in new people. Awesome folk like yourselves who are into live streams like these. But who haven't heard of AMS Live yet, we're not a small channel anymore, but we definitely aren't a big channel by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of competition is out there, so your likes go a long way in promoting the content to people who are into live aviation streams, who might also want to join our community if they only knew of our existence. Be sure to subscribe if you want to stay informed of upcoming live streams and upcoming videos. I will make a separate video of the massive smashing landing of the 747-8 from Cathay. I was trying to film Gary Grebe and his mate, who are there but are continuously diving up and under. Penultimate airplane is Transavia flight 6116 arriving from Malaga. There it is. A321neo, 2 hours and 27 minutes on the way. The PHYHX, that's Yankee Hotel X-Ray. A year old already, first flight March 2024. A massive big thank you for all the support, for all the likes already, for all the super chats, the super stickers, for those who became a member themselves, and for those who gifted memberships. Thank you for the merch purchases you guys are doing regularly. Have a look if you haven't already. Thank you so much for all the support. Also moderators who once again today kept the stream friendly and accessible to all. You guys rock, and this channel is nothing without all of you. Last airplane of the day, arriving from Sao Paulo in Brazil. You know what other country lies on the same continent as Brazil? Ecuador! Goddamn right. And that's South Africa, America, not... Going to do all the sound bites for you guys. KLM flight 792, last airplane of the day. 777-300 10 hours and 31 minutes the journey. It's the PHBVK, Bravo Victor Kilo. 11-year-old airplane, first flight May 2013. If all is well, I should be out again tomorrow and on Sunday, and I'm still contemplating doing a bonus stream on Monday, but count on tomorrow and Sunday first. Where I'm going to, I don't know yet. As always, it depends on the wind and the weather. The wind predominantly. Beautiful landing. KLM pilots showing how it's supposed to be done. Captain Wheelie. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. We're finishing with a bang. Of course we do. They were watching the stream and they thought, let's give them a little something something. Right. Folks, I am going to wrap it up now. Again, thank you for joining me here today. Hope to see you tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe, stay healthy. See you soon. Bye for now, guys.